in the competitive scene because of how much prowess he has, not only in just fighting and capability mechanically, but also just how enormous his brain is. And like, this guy is just creative. He's creative. He's tactical, and he does so much for the teams that he's on. So he's definitely got something to prove. Alliance has been doing reasonably well. We see like so many teams are doing extremely well, and it's extremely competitive at the moment. But we are going to be diving in, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a few kills going down in the kill feed for the side of Wolves, it seems, but we're heading on over to OUG, OA, and WBG, all sort of floating around Arcadia here. OA, in fact, I would say, is also a team to be watching out for. They're a sort of somewhat of a new organization that has sort of popped up. We see Wang Liang, who is now recently changed his name to Edward, who's going to be playing. He's playing for OA in the solos, and OA in the trios has also been doing relatively well, especially considering they got 72 points on their first day.
Yeah, I mean, that is just a crazy amount of points. I'm also looking at SR, right? SR, a new Oregon in the league as well with 109.3. So, you know, I'm looking at the left-hand side. We did have the fight going towards Wolves' way against TE. TE still hasn't resurrected yet, so they're probably looking for a better place to find a better loot path. But right now, DRG, I mean, this is standard, right? Everybody's trying to loot it up before they start going for those fights in the beginning. We do have DRG here on that new monk comp. I'm calling it new for now because, like I said, this is all new to me right here. The Killing Monks of Pink composition. Very, very interesting call. Would have never expected Keelan with a monk being played in these matches, but we do have some sort of action there against WZ and YZG. This player's going to be waiting out in this doorway. We do have WZ now. Starting to move on now. The Dazzle misses there in the back end. Cookie looking to try to get aggressive and one of these players. The Monk does create some of the distance in the back end. Massive R&B focus, forcing out that F belt there from the Monk early on there from TXJ. We do have now the Zai ultimate now being invested. We do have all these players now covering, but the massive parry here from TXJ. That's a lot of damage there onto the Zaping. And the follow-up R&B from the fifth place. Cookie now eating up a lot of damage as well. 2 more hits. This player could be eliminated, but does manage to find a blue armor swap in the bottom side. We do have the random arrows here from this area, shooting down some of these players as well. TXJ still trying to get some sorts of damage onto Cookie. Cookie is going to have that Matari invisibility there for now. He looks like he isn't going to be able to kite this out for now. The FL caught in once again, overholds, eats up the damage off the R&B. Now in an isolated 1v1, we do have Cookie trying to create the distance there in the back end, trying to go for a quick reset, and TXJ is going to have their karma reset, but it looks like we're going to go ahead and swap on over to OUG against OA.
Indeed, and here, one of the unique factors about this map, we see these two teams positioning themselves at the exact timing that this floating pile comes through. You know, this is definitely one of the best things about Perdoria being the newest map added to the game. These floating piles create so many opportunities, not only to just initially loot up and find get the ball rolling, so to speak, but also for reset potential. You know, once you go down, you can look to try and position yourself to pick up these floating piles to find that reset, that recovery that you need going into this game. But it looks as though these two teams headed over to try and just get a little bit more loot before going into that mid-game scenario. But I believe WBG may have thought the same. A bit late to the party, but they might be able to take advantage here as OAPP does not have that Syra ultimate. They do have the Zai and the Matari ult ready to go. Jing dropping down from above with that F1, looking to find an opening, but oh no, he's taking too much damage. Buddy gets the ult off. Can we get out of there? The Moonbane comes on through, so that was the plan. They had to delay. He tried to jump in and just stay there, stay standing, and hold on to them while the Moonbane gets put down. But unfortunately, he's just not able to stay alive. The Moonbane, spooky, does not have a repeat of yesterday, as I'm sure you were there for, C8. The one frame, one shot from full gold armor. Good lord. I will see that in my nightmares for the rest of my life. It was rough. And you know what else is rough? Leo just getting absolutely cooked there. Not able to get that Temi off. Not able to get the Sandstorm down. Yeran now left in the 1 versus 3. Going to try and make something happen, but it's not looking good. He's only got 20 seconds to salvage this.
I mean, this is rough, right? You dropped the Takeda very early, and that Takeda is a very important character in this composition. In the 1v3, Yuran trying to stay up here in the situation, gets parried off of that as well. There goes the F from the Syra. Sends it again. just for giggles. But the Bane being the third party there does get a little bit of damage there onto OA, but OA is going to be coming on top here in this situation. And I mean, I don't know if it's this season of the Pro League now, but it feels like the secret agent in these matches is the Bane, right? Just the Bane being able to get so much damage onto a lot of people in both modes. That's the ultimate already invested here for Bada, though we do have some scrap off against YZG in the back end. Now the Tesla enchantment is going to connect. Looks like they are going to be focusing the healer here. There's a ping in the back end. GG does manage to back on up. The silence there onto the Keelan does manage to get 2 hits off that F though. Since the R&B focus there from the max damage or max distance, now these players are still trying to stay up. Bada does not have any ultimates currently here in the situation. Jang though is going to use that F to appeal for his teammate. Overholds the LB focus. The Viper now trying to create the distance, but it looks like that's going to be a lot of damage in the back end. CXZ now it's going to fall here from Jing. Massive musket shot, and now Weech and F blades coming on in. Another elimination comes into play as well, and Bada there with a nice cleanup against YZG, making sure they can stay on top. Going to go ahead and pick up all the resources that YZG had in this situation, and now with 2 ults online, it does not look like any teams are going to be coming in for a third party as well, but we are going to be having a realm in a couple of minutes as well. So this is where these teams are going to start, you know, getting the last amount of resources, last scrap outs off to start moving on into those realm of Yangs. I mean, the buff that you get off of those realms is just way too important for these players or these teams just to be able to get all that. But do have OA. Oh, looks like we are gonna have the Volpine here for the Zai, and I mean that's insane, right? Having it on the Zai is different. I would usually see it on a healer, but I mean it just makes complete sense, right? You get that super aggressive Zai in with that ultimate, making sure that even if they drop very low, they still have that ult online. They can continue the aggression against the opposing team to, you know, even out the fight, whether if it's a 2v3 or a 3v3. Just being able to have that second life on a character like Zai, I mean, it just looks very dangerous.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The being that position 1, looking for those meteor F2s to jump in. You know, you do have a lot of self peel with this F2, and of course with your ultimate, you can sit in that gold focus forever. Basically. But you can still take a lot of damage, and if you get caught out and you don't have a combo break, it can be very dangerous. Having that Volpine essence of that safety net you're absolutely right. It is definitely worthwhile because she just functions as that position 1, that carry for the team, you know. And this composition, we've called it many a time the budget comp because it functions very easily off of just having 1 purple armor on the Zai. As long as the Zai in the front line is able to stay alive, you are chilling because there's not going to be too much that they can do if there's like, what can you do against a Matari who's just going to disengage? And now the Syra as well. We've got this shield that comes through with the ultimate. But Speeder coming through. We're coming through into the realm of Yang. We've got Wolves going up against 521. 521 has been showing up pretty well. They've been doing. I mean, it's standard, not too great. I mean, obviously, they're still a relatively new team into the scene. They're an SEA representation, you know. But you know what we're taking a look at right now? It's Kai Bao. He's diving in, and look, this is exactly what we were just talking about. This is exactly what we talked about, CA. The potential to just get absolutely cooked on the stagger. Oh no! Okay. That's not looking. That's not so great right there, unfortunately.
I mean, that's just so much damage, right? The opener tries going for the F2. I mean, just not being able to stay up. We got OA. He's going to get dazzled there against the parry there from SS, but now recashes the Prowl into the F2. 1, 2, 3 on the ground. Big damage. SS falls there from Ming in the back end now. Zin Yu trying to stay alive in a 1v3. It's just very rough. Gets parried as well. The parry does get a little bit of scuff, but it doesn't even matter. The Zai, they're just going to wait out this time to make sure they can get that buff at the last minute there. So they are going to be toying with him a little bit there in the round, but DRG, JL going at it. We have this Keeneland comp in play for these players. The spear is out here for one of these players. Pole sword here for Don Q in the back end. One player does fall. Massive parry onto Cuckoo as well. That's going to be a lot of damage to the back end now. That'll be focused there from the Tessa in the backside. He looks like, the Justina, sorry, in the backside. He is going to be able to stay up. Now, that's just a ping. Oh, these skins be throwing me off. Don't cute, though. I saw the little flush, so I thought it was Justina, but we don't have a Justina in play right now. We do have a Tamosh, though, in the back end there from Wonfang, and he looks like he is going to try to stay up here in the situation. We do have Don Q, though, trying to make sure he can stay up and try to ice off the pressure there from his teammate. Now, looks like he is going to be grapple bumped there in the back end. Now, the Clink comes in once again from the staff. Both players parry. It's an isolated 1v1 between both of these players' teams here. We do have the Army Focus connects there, and the cleanup there from DRG against JL. DRG are going to be getting that buff, and I'm looking at that top right? We do have OA and was picking up Vermilion's Bird's Might, but YZG goes for that Mystic Might. So off of that alone, I'm looking like they are going to be having a little bit of a different approach here coming out the Roma Yang.
Yeah, I think actually the YZG managed to get the Spirit Well for that buff with Mystic Might. We've got the 3 of a million Birds Might coming through, but the instant fight coming out of the Realm of Young Wolves, having won their fight against 521. XEM popping that V1 is going to be able to stun NHQ here, but he does have that ult online. He's not going to be going down just yet. The immortality is going to remain in effect, keeping him alive and on his feet. And Jing, it's going to absolutely exploded. The Kylin car crash dashing through, crashing through the windshield, the blistering edge, just slicing the steaming hot blade cutting through this team, and there we have it. Wolves are not messing around. Wolves are on 10 kills, 10 eliminations already. Wow. After first Yang. OA, the only other team who's remotely close to them, who are sitting on 8 right now, who also won their Realm of Yang. These two teams looking very strong right now. 5-1 on the outskirts of the map right now, having lost their Realm of Yang. Unfortunately, 2 Wolves are going to be able to find a weakened OUG who also have Yang depletion, I believe, who might be able to fully cleanse here. They've already claimed 2, and now Jinyu is simply a matter of time, my friend, getting caught in that corner. It's unwinnable at that point, unfortunately. But 5-1, looking good. Salvage the Yang depletion situation, getting 3 eliminations. As I talked about earlier, as we've seen time and time again, these Yang depletion situations, they're so hard to come back from, as just the finesses and the understanding of these scenarios has developed so much over time. But we're having over to DRG and OA scrapping. Now these 2 Vermilion Birds Might, their grab comes through. Kakaishi goes down though, loses so much health so quickly.
It looked like he was like trying to get some chips in the bottom of the bag right there on the mug, and then this tunnel right here. He does manage to fall. OA drops very low though. Do have PP, the last one standing. They do have the Brilliance Birds Might buff though, so they are gonna stay inside game number 1. JL are gonna be able to pick up the eliminations here. They are gonna be getting 1 bloom. I believe 2 people still have Yang depletion. Alliance in the back end though. Looks like they might be able to see some sorts of potential to third part of this, but I mean, I see how strong the Syra is in these situations, right? Just being able to stop off a lot of aggression from the opposing teams with those dazzles. I mean, it's just very hard to try to play around that. You got to play positioning very right in those situations.
Absolutely, like stopping the parries and stuff. You know, like if your teammate gets parried, you're ready to go with the dazzle. It's absolutely huge. I mean, it's obvious as to why this this character has seen so much play. We're seeing some more play coming through here. On the jump, ooh, where you going? Where you going, Cuckoo? He gets out. Unfortunately, NY7 now just left to try and, as you put it, try and grab things out of the bottom of the bag of chips. Coming. Is this a few crumbs? Give me that. Give me those crisps. Oh. Hopping around trying his best to keep up, but it's not looking good for him, C8. I don't know about this one.
It's not. I mean, now the full damage here off the Syra ultimate onto NY7 catches the dazzle off of the knockback as well. Not being able to play the video game. We have the dazzles coming into play there from the Syra. We do have the Takeda F now caught in there from the ultimate. XX in the back end is going to go ahead and try to overhold. Spins back the LMB focus to avoid getting parry. We do have another ult charge being invested there. Ooh. Now the third party potential here for Wolves coming on in. JL is going to fall 1 player there, and it's going to be ZK there from Wolves to pick up the elimination. Now WBG starting to move into the party. Alliance is still in the mix, still have 3 players up. Ults are ready, I believe, for WBG. Alliance has no ult online. They just burned all their ultimates and cooldowns. We do have the Keelan trying to stay alive there in the back end, getting full W key here from WBG. He ran on the Syra, does manage to get some sorts of damage and the finisher there onto Yuma. Yuma's going to fall. One fall is going to die to Yang depletion timer. We do have our second Roman Yang as well. It is going to be OA against YZG. Monk already starting to form on up here for TXJ. Now, the grab is very important here in these situations. Oh, he managed to find one. He does onto PP now. Trying to see what's going to be the mix up here for TXJ. There goes the F called in to avoid any sorts of knockback. They're from the Keelan here for YZG. Now, it's re-grabbed there mid-air. PP now might be in big trouble. Overholding Ming. We do have him in the bottom side. Doesn't eat the 3 charge, but eats some of the damage off the R&B focus there on the backside. Now, gets re-grabbed out. This time around, it's going to be OA's Meng, and that's just big grabs here from TXJ. I didn't see the Keelan ultimate come in line, but the Zai ultimate has to be called in here for OA. The F2 or any sorts of stagger back does not manage to catch anybody, but catches behind the pillar. Those chains doing a lot of damage there onto TXJ. Monk ult down. Pretty much all the ultimates are down for both squads. Now the only 2 remaining is going to be the Zai and the Keelan here for YZG. Can be able to weave that second dash through there from the Keelan. Overholds, no burn damage. Nice peel there from the Keelan to avoid the damage. Now the second one connects as well onto the Zai. Full focus in the Zai to make sure he gets no value. The LB Prior as well, trusting for the grapple bump, and in the backside, a focus connects onto the Zai since the LB focus off the longsword, trying to get some sorts of peel from any of the teammates. But the final 1-2 there from the nunchucks now, and the 1v3 YZG here for the cleanup against OA, and that was just beautiful there from YZG.
That was, couldn't have said it better. The grabs coming out from TXJ, unassisted. It was looking like unassisted grabs, just grabbing the Syra out of the air multiple times, picking up so many grabs and creating so many opportunities to stall out. Because it was looking, I like, as soon as I saw this the Monk ult come through, you are ideally looking to use that Monk ult very early on in a lot of scenarios with this composition. But if you do it a little bit too early, if your teammates aren't able to hold on and just stagger the opposing team, you're in for a pretty bad time because you can just get absolutely melted. But TXJ, he doesn't need no team. He's the one-man army coming through with those hands, sending them, grabbing them up and slamming them down. Good Lord. We love to see it. I'm glad we're seeing Monk come back in the meta a bit more. I do enjoy some oogly Tianhai gaming, especially in those end games. You remember back in the day? The sort of 16 monks just going crazy.
as soon as you said Monk, that's the first thing that came to my mind. The end games when the Monk comes into play, right? I mean, the Monks have a very, very important role in those end circles. If you're not able to get those grabs, I mean, your teams can't really get those eliminations. But having a character like Monk in that end game can just get so much of the space and make sure teams cut line of sight to not get grabbed. So being able to have a very strong Monk in your team is very important here for the teams in this end game. But I mean, teams are not letting go, and right now, I mean, what I'm excited to see is this Draco Storm, right? Because in Pro League for the solos, we don't see the Draco Storm getting picked. We do get the White Tiger's power instead of the Draco Storm. So the Draco Storm, that constant lightning just striking down, getting health back as well. Now with the change that I got a little while ago, it's going to be very interesting to see how these teams go off. But we do have OA just starting to start rotating on in. WZ as well. Just a little bit of pokage here. OA does have that Yang depletion timer, so they are going to have to try to get aggressive pretty soon. Not sure what their timer is looking like for that Yang depletion timer. But WZ now are going to start moving on in. They do not want to find the end of the edge of the zone. I mean, just with how long these fights go in trios, it's just very dangerous to try to have a fight in the end of the edge of the zone. So they are going to start rotating on in. We do have OA with 9 eliminations. Yang depletion timer was with 13 now on the board. Alliances did pick up a 3-Ps. DRG and YZG with 7 eliminations, and 521 getting that 3-piece as well from cleansing the Yang depletion timer. And now this is where the aggression starts for both of these teams. teams. They are still in the edge of the zone, so they might be getting covered by the Toxic, but WZ, OA, WZ already investing that Cyber ultimate as well as OA. We only have the ult now available for the Zai. We did have the Matari popping this ultimate here for OA. WZ Cookie trying to take a quick little reset in the middle of the Mercury River. The Cyrus ultimate is about to run out for WZ as well. Now the cleanses are going to be coming in. We do have two now trying to start move on in. Massive parry there for the Matari. The ultimate now called in for the Zai. Is going to use the F2 to go up on top of the terrain to avoid anything, but XY is going to be called up here from WZ in the top side. The Zai there for the pill there for Cookie. Tries to overhold. He drops very low. Needs to be real careful. The cleanse comes into play there for OA onto the Zai with a little bit of help back as well. Perfect timing. Cookie is very low as well. One stagger off this LB from the chains can be the decider here against Cookie. The F2 finisher there onto Cookie, and WZ is gonna fall. OA no. 521 now here for the third party.
Oh, that's so rough. They come in, they clutch up the fight, and it looks as though they're just going to get picked apart at the edge of the storm. But 5-1 might be getting a little bit of their own medicine right here, as WBG and TE and Wolves are all circling, waiting to try and jump in and see if they can take advantage of the situation. 5-1, also something to note, being the only unique composition in the lobby. There's something that we didn't really get much time to talk about earlier on, but they are running this cannonball variation, the Syra, Justina, Feria, the frozen microwave, whatever, what have you. They are on 4 eliminations, and they're not doing too badly, but they're in a bit of disadvantage. As you know, CA, this is something that's very prevalent in solos. In trios, it does happen, of course, as well. If you're a unique composition, unique characters, you get spotted out, and you don't have other characters that are the same. It's gonna be a really hard time to actually recover. And it looks as though OA unfortunately weren't able to recover all that well after this third-party situation, and their 12 eliminations are gonna have no chance of getting multiplied by that first-place finish, as they do get eliminated and sent back to the lobby. But we're heading over to the Spirit Well here, which has DRG, YZG, Wolves, Alliance all circling and trying to confirm this Spirit Well. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up to you, this sort of dynamic, this Spirit Well situation has evolved quite considerably, and I think that we are seeing that evolution come through now. Before, in the previous bi-weekly, we saw that there were select teams that, as opposed to looking to take advantage of the Yang depletion teams after the Realm of Yang of the secondary one, that they were going for these Spirit Wells and holding them until the last second, so they could get that buff, and then they could use that buff, translate it into the end game situation, and secure the final Spirit Well as well, giving them a much better chance of coming away with the win. But it looks as though the teams have adapted and look to stop this from happening in future, as we can see at a massive scrap-off taking place here on the Spirit Well.
Yeah, I mean, everybody investing everything for the Spirit Well. Wolves are going to be coming on top there, picking up with that Draco Storm. First one in HQ, trying to see if he can find some sort of damage onto WBG. Does manage to get some sorts of slashes there onto one of the players. The Takeda, the Calvary Bloom in the back end there from Yi Ran. The Draco Storm, though, is going to be able to peel a little bit of that off there. NHQ now is going to start moving on in closer to his teammate. They do have Zing very low here for WBG on the Takeda. Still trying to fall down the bottom of the mountain. He is going to be able to scare rush around, trying to cut off a lot of this pressure here from Wolves. Gold pole sword in hand here for NHQ. I mean, this is gonna hit like a truck here against these teams. We do have the Tumult ultimate here with the animation change there, with the accessory looking very, very crispy here on the Temi. But I mean, it doesn't matter. You can look fresh, but you gotta be able to win these matches. And WBG is in a very tough situation here. But the Takeda being able to stay alive for a very long time, has all 3 players here for Wolves. Finally does manage to fall. I kind of just, cast the curse in there because he was moving on them. But Wolves are going to be picking up another one on the board. That's going to be 14 here for Wolves, doing a really good job here. And I mean, they still have 96 seconds on that Draco Storm. DRG trying to get active. Another member there from WBG DRG. You ran very, very low on the backside. We do have Wolves in the mix as well. Try to cut up this pressure. Oh my God, the bang there for WX. He does get rebounded into the second one. Oh my God, he manages to weave it though. Don Q, the full W key there against WX, and now YZG as well, trying to see if he can find some sort of damage here with the cannon. We do have the 1-2-3 here from Kakaxi. He is going to be able to get the damage on the goal Hong, but they're looking for that player. Everybody's looking there for the right hand side. 521 hiding in the bush. Not sure they're going to check it. Yep, they do. They are going to be able to have to, they're going to be forced to scatter on. Now DRG is going to claim this area of the map. All these players and teams are going to start rotating on it. We have 26 seconds for the zone to start closing up. Wolves still in the mix once again with this Draco Storm. They are able to get full aggressive as they want, having that buff up, blistering edge on the goal post. I mean, this is just looking like a nightmare right here for Wolves.
Yeah, they are about to tear through everybody here with that Draco Storm. They only have a couple seconds left on this buff, but they're going to try and get maximum value as they look to engage on these players next to where the next Spirit Well is going to be spawning in. As I said, you know, it's something that we saw time and time again, and here we have it. Wolves are taking advantage of the last few seconds of that buff so they can secure a strong position initially on the spawn of this Spirit Well. Wolves, LJX, formerly known as the King, is going to be throwing a couple grabs, trying to find something, but not able to do so, unfortunately, just yet. They do have time, and it looks as though they're basically locked in for this Spirit Well. They're going to be able to get their hands on this White Tiger's prowess, and all of these teams are starting to space out and disengage. But because of this, Wolves are now going to be able to extend the effective duration of the buff by holding off on picking that buff up just for the moment so they can get it to last all the way until those final moments of this lobby. DRG now holding on to this edge of zone area with 5-2-1 in the mix, trying desperately to not get peppered down by these cannon shots. TXJ taking a quick pit stop for that tuna, tuning up. Got to get that protein in, big dog. Got that shield taken away. We got that monk as well. It's going to be very, very nice for him there. He's going to be able to stay on his feet for a lot of this end zone. 5-2-1 Pampy taking a little bit of damage, and Yin also seemingly being forced to use this fairy ultimate now, trying to get a bit aggressive, put a little bit of pressure on these other players. TE having to move, being forced to disengage away as they don't want to take the brunt of this turret damage.
Yeah, I mean, just taking it back memory lane, what you mentioned about not being in the same spectrum of the comps, right? 5-2-1 playing that Justina Feria right after that ultimate gets is completely done there for the Feria. They could just get full focus here in the situation. When you have Wolves, they're already starting Wolves. First one against at 5-2-1. They do see the comp here in the backside. Feria ultimate is gone. RB focus there from LJX onto Yin. Yin's gonna fall there, and oh my God, that's exactly what I was picturing. As soon as that ultimate was gone, just a full aggression here for Wolves. And Wolves with that White Tiger's powers, being able to get that extra damage off an elimination. A lot of these teams are going to start feeling this if the circle gets a little bit more smaller and that buff is still online. They are going to be eating up a lot of this damage. TE, though, in the mix, cannon still a staple here for the trios to be able to get that range damage for a lot of these teams. I think they might have the J there for the cannon as well. I gotta get my J sheet up, but we're gonna have to wait and see if they do get a burn tick damage there. But CXZ there in the backside, Wolves still full active here. NHQ with another one onto Pampy. I mean, Wolves just full dominating this lobby right now. 16 on the board. Ults are still online for Wolves. Cannon shots flying on in here from the top side of the roof. This end circle looks very, very scary. We do have a little bit of a low ground pressure there inside the cave, but I mean, a lot of these players are playing top side right now, and it looks like they are going to be starting getting active pretty soon.
Oh, absolutely. It's getting oogly real fast here. Hey, Kakaishi, let me down. Sand in my eyes. He's trying to get out of there. It's looking pretty rough for him, but Wolves down on the low ground. They're licking their lips. All these players. You want to come down here, big dog? We got the buff. We still got it for 64 seconds. Alliance trying their best to stay strong inside this little house here, this ruined house, trying their best to stand tall against all of this onslaught onslaught of ranged weaponry, the projectiles flying through. We've got TE holding on to this top ground here. TXJ trying his best to stay on top, but getting absolutely yeeted into the zone there. TXJ does find the grapple back on in. CXZ getting knocked down by the Syra. TXJ, I am assuming he's going to try and hold his ult for as long as possible to use it for that health reset, as if he were to try and use it to try and get those grabs, it's going to be really difficult as there aren't very many lines of sight to actually find those pickups. But it looks as though Xiaonan is going to be sending it, and TXJ going to be following through with NY7. The monks have come out to play. CA, they're throwing hands. LJX finds one, throwing him into the zone. Xiaonan trying to find those grabs. TXJ jumping up. Hey, I want to come join you, buddy. Let's get it. Yeah, hop, skip, and jump. Get out of here, buddy. Oh, he finds the grab. He's going to get the slam. Tries to hop up to avoid getting slammed as well. Not going to be able to get that reactivation. TXJ going to be coming out that ult very, very soon. And TE in the skies grappling around Xiaonan. Very low HP. Are we going to see Wolves come out on top here? Because it's looking pretty good for them.
I mean, Wolves still up. 18 eliminations now for Wolves. Monks are in the middle. The double grab there from DRG's Kakashi. One of the Wolves teammates is going to fall. ZK. And the bottom side, everybody dropping. Oh my god, another grab there from Kakashi. Big damage here for the Monk. Xiaonan is going to fall. Peek as well. Kakashi picked up a lot of them eliminations here in its end circle. 13 on the board there for DRG. Wolves NHQ trying to stay up. Trying to get the multiplier right now. But just the rejuggles there from Don Q. Gold players stay alive. 20 on the board there for Wolves, and what a game here for Wolves. We did have DRG there picking up a lot of eliminations there with the Monk, but I mean, Wolves securing those two spare wells were pretty much able to control the whole flow of that end circle the majority of the time there. We did see a lot of the players playing inside the cubbies from that end circle area. I remember the AC-130s too, drop down ults, those from the Vipers being very, very heavy in a map like Morris Isle, where they have the terrain for the suited for that. But loaded up here for our second game. JL against YZG. Massive parry there from One Fong. He is able to get some sorts of damage. TXJ on the Syra, trying to back up that pressure there from the Monk. Nuncha meter burn connects there onto a player. That player is going to fall. Now JL do have the man advantage here in the situation. Parries a little bit too early. TXJ now is going to eat up a lot of damage. Nice hits there from CXZ as well. And the second one goes down, and JL turning to fight. Oh my god, grapple parry there. Oh my god, YZG going crazy right now. XX1 is going to be able to back on up. TPs, the follow-up R&B gets a little bit of damage onto TXJ. Does have that ultimate there for the killing. He's going to try to respond off of this. Hold on, the 1v2 situation. TXJ is trying to back on up. Grapple is on out. Does manage to get the first connection there off the slash. The F caught in there for the Sara. The Temi try to peel. Now TXJ trying to back on up completely. Now the ultimate still up. The Temi ultimate called in, I believe, but that was just a whiz. And what WZ are going to pick up an elimination on the kill feed as well. Now XX1 is going to be able to back on up. The ultimate is run out. The Temi Wish drops down, does not connect. And a 1v2, 1v3 now. YZG running it back. XX1 trying to back on up. Does have the F for now, but just a little bit of hits there for elimination. And I mean, that could have been bad there really quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That Kylan ult was looking pretty spooky for a second there, but no, it is not to be. The kiting, the bait and switch, going to be able to get one reset and then cover for the player that was getting chased down by the Kylan ult. Very nicely done by YZG. TXJ, the GOAT, coming through with those parries early on. But here we are taking a look at TE going up against this team. I believe it is in... Wait, is that Wolves? No, WBG. It was a W. I couldn't see, unfortunately. TE up against WBG. One player down for TE. And now instantly, Peak and Xiaonan immediately following suit. And WBG going to be able to secure those 3 eliminations on this composition as well. Is a really, really good start to the day. Really good start to this game. They're going to be able to get that ball rolling, get that scaling going. As we've talked about countless times, being able to scale up on this sort of composition with the Tianhai scaling both off of shield and off of that weapon, the Kylan scaling off of that weapon, damage for his ultimate. Very, very valuable for them moving forwards. And here, WZ, it looks as though they've managed to catch out a lonely member of JL. Cuckoo 2, unfortunately being left as the sacrifice for his team. Cut off the arm to save the body, as JL are going to be able to continue onwards and potentially find that rebirth charm later on in the game. Alliance now having been caught off guard potentially and dying early on to who I believe it was WZ, I think, early on in the game, are finding their reset. They've got all triple blue armor, few weapons, and thankfully they are playing this budget composition as we tend to call it. If they're able to find that purple armor for the Zai, we will likely end up seeing them go into that realm of Yang. That's pretty much all they need. Anything more is always nice and is definitely a good advantage. But you can make it work with simply one purple armor. Now 5-2-1. 2 members having gone down, Pampy surviving, not looking as though they're in all that much of a scaled position as of yet. But looks like we got OUG potentially finding the assassination attempt onto WX98. He's left alone. His teammate is nowhere in sight right now, using that F, not able to get away from the Tessa charm, and he goes down. Baby U with those golden nunchucks, smacking him in the jaw right there. Get back! Get back here, Sandy boy. You ain't go nowhere.
I mean, I'm this comp, right? Still very, very strong. Yeah. You cannot get caught lacking, right? You are going to get Tesla ultimate off rip, and you are going to get silence as well. So it's very, very rough to get caught up. Kakaxi drops very low. Syra ultimate now called in here for DRG. Syra, Baby U trying to stay close up to the Syra to make sure once that ultimate goes down, the damage can come into play. It gets a little bit of damage there onto Baby U. Only drops 1 bar of that blue armor. Access starting to move on in. Tesla ultimate called in there in the back end. Now OA starting to move into the party, and OA already has 5 illuminations on the board. OUG currently only with 1 headshot there in the backside. The Syra drops very low, still up here in the situation. DRG's Kakaxi trying to stay alive. He is going to be caught up there by the scare rush there from OAs and Baby U. Now they're arguably having this Bane. Tesla ultimate called in there onto the Viper, I believe. He is going to be getting, oh, that's the Syra, sorry. The overhaul there, the Wu Chen, sorry. Big parry there from Baby U behind the back. He is not going to get the full capitalization off of that, but the Bane, they can play around this Bane's proximity. He does manage to get Tesla enchanted, but does have that cover there from the Bane. OA still in the back end. OUG still trying to get active. They do have that Wu Chen ultimate there if they need it, so they are going to have that escape out. OA's PP there in the back end is going to try to take a quick little reset in. OUG though, full W keying on in, trying to make sure he does not get a full a place there to put up that Wu Chen port. We do have now the full damage there from Baby U there. Just being able to apply the pressure, forcing out that Wu Chen. Oh my god, the must make there from 2. Oh my god, Baby U there onto 2. He is gonna be able to get the elimination now. 1 player's gonna fall here for OA. Now another team moving on in. I believe Alliance here on the Keelan comp trying to get active against, I believe, OA. They're just passing through, I think. I'm looking at the mini map. They're like, yo, watch out, just trying to pass through. They're gonna be able to get.
You good. Let me get a piece. Let me get a piece, buddy. That looks delicious. Just eating off that plate right there. Let me get a chip or 2. Bro. Happy to let them pass by. It looks like as they're happy with that 1 elimination there. They do seem to be rolling up on WZ, but I don't think that they're gonna immediately engage here. They don't have that Tessa ultimate ready to go just yet. It might be looking to just get a little bit more loot, have a little more time pass, and get ready for the Yang situation. Obviously, it's unlikely we'll see them going into the realm of Yang, but we might see them try and position themselves around one of those portals and look to grief a team who does indeed want to make their way into that Yang arena. Speaking of, I believe that Bowder is certainly going to be one of those teams. So they are running that Sand Siphon, another team composition that sort of needs to be scaled up. You know, that Takeda, we talked about it a lot. For those of you at home who haven't played Takeda V3, this character requires not only himself and his teammates to have more, more scaled up weaponry, so they can scale that ultimate and get it into that legendary state, so it can have the most amount of power possible. But it looks as though we've got Alliance jumping in onto OA, and DRG also in the mix. I believe that Tutik was just the lonely member of OA caught between 2 teams. That's not what you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, DRG sort of move on in. Alliance trying to backline up, probably looking for that realm, trying to buy up a little bit of resources. Wolves as well. Bawada is going to wait this out. Already posted up for that first realm with Yang. Wolves trying to scale up a little bit more, trying to see if they can get a little bit of upgrades. A little purple dagger here for ZK. It's going to turn into a fan here on the Zai. They're going to be able to start rotating on in. It's gonna be a little bit of a tussle here against Bauda. Just gonna wait this out right now. Respecting the Yang. They do manage
a little
to go
handshake.
in. Yeah. Like, yo, we good? Yeah, we good. We'll fight a Yang. We're good. Wolves though against YZG. First one with Yang. Do have the Matara a little bit more scaled up opposed to the remaining teammates here with the Jade setup, but now drop down for ZK. Temi ultimate very early into the Takeda ultimate as well. Everything invested there for YZG. We do see them being able to kite out this Tumult ultimate. NHQ though drops very low on the Matari, trying to stay alive here from the Syra. It's gonna be able to get a lot of that white health back. Scare rush here from the Takeda. ZK now to be forced to pop this ultimate, trying to get the damage now. Doesn't seem to find anything off the first burn. Quick little reset here for himself. Gets caught up once again. Now the peel here for the Takeda in the back end. Was ZK trying to stay alive. F2's on up. Does manage to get dazzled as well. Big damage here from the, oh my god, to the scare rush there from the Tumult. That's just a lot of damage there onto the Zai. Now QGG trying to stay up on the Takeda. Does manage to find some sort of little bit of damage here. Now in the one, oh my god, NHQ falls down in the 1v3. Just YZG there with beautiful textbook there. Popping that ult very early, being the aggressors here in this round, setting the tempo. I mean, that's just very rough to try to play against. Gets caught up there off the dazzle into that scare rush there from the blue pole sword. Blue rarity still manages to get that sorts of damage there off of scare rush. It's just insane to watch. We do have 521 winning the Realm of Yang as well. It looks like Bauda is winning the Realm of Yang as we see in the kill feed. A team posted up for the Spirit Well. It's going to be TE. They are going to be trying to take that Spirit Well. 521 now starting to move on in. Gold weapon there and Ivan there for the gold halberds. Do have Pampy on the purple armor purple fan here for the Monk for 521. WBG might be resurrecting in a very close proximity here from 521, or they could be running into DRG. Bauda now coming out of the round. They did win their round. They are going to be having that Vermilion Birds Might on the Sand Siphon comp, ready to try to get active as well. And here it is. Ooh. Our Spirit will fight TE against YZG.
They're stacked up in the corner. Wait a minute. QGG, that big Takeda ultimate is going to be able to section off this fight. Oh my goodness, absolutely bursting down. Jiaonan, the Viper goes down. It's a disaster. It's not looking good for TE. YZG on a tear through this lobby. Peak gets the ult, but it doesn't matter. And there you have it. YZG on picking up their 9th elimination of the game. Absolutely rolling through the competition at the moment. Now Wolves, it's as though they took it upon themselves to spawn up here and see if they can potentially get their hands on that Spirit Well, but no, instead they are, oh no wait, they did. So they stacked up the Spirit Well, sent LJX to go forward, put the Matari ult on, and then capture the Spirit Well, picking up that White Tiger's prowess. A team with Yang depletion and White Tiger's prowess. I don't think I've ever seen that before, I have to say. And LJX now popping that Cyril, pulling the trigger, sending out the beam, the microwave, rolling through. QGG getting locked up against the Buttery Rocks. TXJ next on the chopping block, gonna be able to beam him down. The tracking, the blam coming in, and there he is. LJX with the Syra. The Tumult ultimate was not enough. They did not have that Takeda ultimate on lock, ready to go. And Wolves are going to be able to fully salvage their game in game number 2.
That was clean. That was like big brain right there. Being able to capture that or re-get that ultimate if they needed it was just insane. Then they do manage to cleanse off of that. Bada though in the mix against Alliance. Big damage happening there against Alliance. Matari do have them drop, pretty much dropping all that blue armor. ZZT though is going to be able to top off that purple armor. Dazzle comes into play there for revenge on the top side. You think you're going to go put the pressure on my teammate in the back end, but you are going to be dazzled and stunned. You're not going to get that off. Revenge though is going to be out of that ultimate form now. Jinx sends the 1.0. The follow-up as well. Revenge now with the F here for Alliance. We do have now a third party coming in, and it's an Attack on Titan comp. We have the Tesla ultimate here from WZ. Already connected onto 2 players. Big stun there in the back end. Catch that fun on in. Side ultimate called in as well. Oh my god, everything's going towards WZ's way. It's just so much damage elimination. And WZ now here for the cleanup with a perfect third party against both of those teams. DRG still have 3 players up there for themselves. They are going to try to ice out the pressure from WZ. But I mean, that was just beautiful there. Opening up with the Tesla ultimate. Make sure to get those staggers called in. Some sort of damage in the back end from Azai as well from DRGs. Even though he did not get the elimination, went towards WG's way, they did manage to ice off a lot of the pressure there to stay up. But now OUG are going to be able to get an elimination here, or they're going to fall one player here in the zone. WBG gets the kill. Tesla ultimate down to Yiran in the back end. Now the Viper called in ultimate here from Baby U, but the Mugs will be able to iframe this, staying safe inside the zone. Baby U very low on the Viper, gets grabbed as well there from the Scout Rush. Yiran just waiting this out. He'll be like, okay, you're mashing now. Slam gets the damage in the zone. Still going to be taking that white health. We do have WBG's to get in the back end. Raw uppercut into the 1.0. Big damage there. They are going to be getting the elimination there from the Keelan. Sorry on this comp. I mean, wow, just in the zone, very strong pressure there from WBG. Being able to iframe that Viper ultimate there with the Mug, it's just been a staple here for these teams every single time. The Viper can drop down, but you're not able to get the stun there onto the Mug. Don't get no value off the Viper ultimate because they will be able to peel for the squad. 521 though, still in the mix, full ults online. WBG trying to start moving on in outside the zone. This could be bad for them. I believe they do not have Monk ult yet as well, so we do have them trying to get some sort of this rage back in the backside. We do have the King ultimate called in. Zing though is gonna eat up all the damage. They're gonna fall. And 521 with perfect third party as well. Now with 6 on the board, doing a lot of damage onto WBG, and WBG is gonna fall here for this game number 2.
That is insane. The assault smolder coming through as well, just to top it off. 5-2-1 on 7 eliminations. That's what we like to see from the boys of SEA coming in. Let's get it. Are we going to see them qualify into the bi-weekly final and do well? It would be a sight to see, a sight to behold. You know, the SEA teams have been a part of MBPL for quite a while. They obviously had their presence at J-Cup as well. Yeah. But and they showed up in the grand finals too. They almost took it. We saw them get to that match point really early on, but unfortunately they weren't able to take the cake. But who knows? Moving forwards, things may change and the scales may tip in their favor. But here we are going into that secondary realm of Yang. YZG going up against DRG. Syra grappling up in the air, trying to find that stagger, eating a bit of a start focus coming down on the ground, but immediately combo breaking out. The Syra ultimates do get pulled out. Now we got that gold weapon damage for the Syra ultimate for YZG. TXJ just beaming through, trying to find some kind of value here, regardless of that Tumulka ultimate. Both Tumulka ultimates now have been sent out. The Takeda ultimates are going to follow through now. WX on the 8, extremely low HP. The RMB coming through from that Hangsword is going to be able to catch him now. The jump LMB to finish him off. YZG now in the driver's seat, going to be able to have full agency moving forwards. DRG in the hot seat. The no armor on the side of Kakaishi, but they just got to cover a move. They've got this one in the bag. That focus slider. What you gonna do, buddy? There's nothing you can do, bro. You can't escape. Now 5-2-1 in the realm of Yang. Pampy taking so much damage. No ultimate on the side of the Tianhai. Had already gone down, and now Bowder. Oh, the parry could be turned. Yin looking to try and salvage the situation, but I don't know if it's gonna happen, buddy. It might be over. CA 5-2-1 looks as though it might be cooked for them in this realm of Yang.
Yeah, I mean, 1v3 is like, if it's not impossible, it's nearly impossible. It's super hard to do. But JL getting active close to the outside of the ring. That's a double grab here for JL's one farm, but does not get the slam there. The Wu Chen port does manage to stay up there for WZ, so they're going to be safe in the situation. OA starting to move on in. JL drops, I believe, all 3 ultimates here, and we do have the Tesla ult online here for Meng. He could be able to potentially use this for an opener, but I mean, YZG in that realm of Yang, they did it again from that ult pop strat in the beginning of that round. They're popping that Temi ult very early, making sure they get the lockdown, forcing out any sorts of ultimates that they need from that situation, and they just come on top for the second time, and just that pressure there from YZG in that round. Currently with 12 eliminations on the board, I mean, it's showing up for them. We see how strong they are on that sign siphon in the round. Been playing that perfectly out. Draco Storm is out though for Wolves, Bada, and YZG, so these teams could be the the ones that are getting mad active, and the first ones are getting active is going to be Bauda. We do see them chasing down JL. The Monk is barely back there from the squad, doesn't even have ultimate as well. If they do get caught up, it could be a big problem. It's going to play inside of the zone here, but Bada sees this. We do have, well, one Fong trying to back on up here, trying to cut it out, but this is bad. Gets caught up. Armor Pierce there is going to get a little bit of a knockback. F caught in there for the bell, sends the 1.0 big damage, but doesn't even matter. The musket shot there from Jings, there from Bada. They are going to secure the elimination there onto one of the members from JL, and that's just unfortunate, right? We do have the Monk going down from this squad, which in this end circle, you need to have that Monk to try to stay up against all these Temis, right? I mean, we have all these Tomokes still up, as well as the Attack on Titan squads are still in this game as well, putting up those pressures outside of the round, making sure that you're able to get those third-party actions. And now DRG starting to move on in. 521's Pampy is going to start forward on up here on the Monk. We do have DRG trying to kite out the pressure here from the Monk to reaggress after this Monk ultimate is down. We do have no line of sight here for Pampy. Doesn't really get any sorts of value here off this ult alone. A little bit of scrabble inside of this building here from DRG and Iben, but it looks like they are going to back on up. DRG potentially going to reaggress this. We have Kakashi already starting to move on in. Does manage to get inside a little bit of a cover there from the wall. Pampy does form down, and now DRG first one's in, start to get this aggression there onto 521. Pampy has gold armor, so he's going to still be a little bit, he's going to be healthy here. Iben's going to get parried in the back end. Kakashi now with the Saru ultimate. Takeda ultimate is called in as well in the backside. We do have 521 dropping very low. We do have one member, Pampy, trying to stay up here for the squad with no online. Yin does have that online there for the squad. Kakashi, though, applying lots of pressure. The 3 charge there from the beam is going to be able to kite up a lot of the pressure there from DRG. We do have him getting dazzled, double dazzle stun there. Now the F caught in from the Keelan. The takedown there from the Takeda as well. A big scrabble. 521 now with the Cavalry Bloom trying to stay up here off the gold dual blaze. Does manage to proc it. Does manage to get the parry as well. That's a massive parry there from Iben, and they're able to stay up. That's one player down there for DRG. Now Kakashi now is going to get a parry there with a massive jump parry there onto that player. Still trying to stay up. The Takeda one shot. Pampy falls. 2v2. Now, quick little reset from Iben. Scrap on still happening there from Kakashi and Yin in the backside. Goes in for the uppercut, but the Cavalry Blue Peel there from Iben. That player is going to fall as well. 521 with no Monk online are going to be able to stay up here. The Supreme does have Yang depletion timer, but Don Q comes on in, and that's the cleanse there for 521. And what a beautiful showcase here for 521, making sure to stay up here in this fight.
Let's go, C8. Wow. 10 eliminations.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
5-2-1. Taking down DRG. Those goated veteran teams. And hey, it's exactly what I was talking about before the realm of Yang. Sadly, we see them go down there, but they're able to clutch it up, salvage the situation, come back. They are going to have to buy themselves a rebirth charm to be able to resurrect Pampy on that Tianhai. But I don't think that that's going to be much of a problem, as I believe I saw the Kylan with about 40,000 Darktide coins. So I think we'll be seeing that little graphic pop up on the screen relatively soon to say that they have purchased that rebirth charm. But here, this is what I was talking about earlier. We've got that spirit well situation. It looks as though no one's going to be contesting it this time. Perhaps in the previous game, the reason why we saw it happen so aggressively is because it was in a populated area. We saw perhaps it was because a lot of people just happened to be in that area in the first place, and that's why it got contested so much initially. But if they're able to secure this, we may see that scenario happen where the second or the very last realm of Yang, the very last spirit well, just simply goes over to the captors of this spirit well by default. But moving forward, we got the last member of JL unfortunately getting stuck in a corner, not able to escape the clutches of OA, picking up their 8th elimination. But funnily enough, they've only managed to secure themselves a blue armor so far. And oh no, 5-2-1. They go down in the open. That's not what you want to see.
That's unfortunate there. They did manage to resurrect their fallen member, but off of that alone, Iben does fall there in that situation there for 521. do have the Spirit Well this time around inside the zone. TXJ is going to be able to cover that up there for YZG. YZG with a crazy game too so far. They've been going absolutely nuts here for this game with 13 on the board. Now with this Draco Storm trying to control this playing field here for this end circle. 2 gold armors here for the squad as well. They are going to be able to control the temple. We do have them full grapple on in. And it looks like it might be WZ getting a lot of this aggression thrown their way. The Takeda ultimate already up here for QGG. They pop it, they get the buff as well, so they're gonna have that ult for the second round as well if they need it instantly. We do have everybody trying to cut out the pressure from Draco Storm. Nobody wants to mess with this buff right now. They just gonna, you see OA just running a little bit of a rally in the outer ring right now, and everybody's just falling right behind. We see WZ like, yo, wait for us. Yeah, they're just waiting this out. Wolves playing the top side though. Wolves playing the high ground. Make sure they can stay up and get mobile there to make sure they don't get caught up. It looks like WZ are going to be picking up elimination onto one of the Alliance's members, and I think that might be the last member there for Alliance. Oh no, the Cyrus still up. Revenge falls, but now WZ in the mix. 11 on the board as well, with a massive amount of eliminations. 521 with 10, YZG with 13. Then we have OA was with 8, Bautas with 7, and Wolves with 4. And no, that was the last member of Alliance. He is going to fall. Alliance out of this game. 17 players still up. These teams are still in the mix, though. YZG, though, still full W keying in. This time around against Yin. There's a ping there for 521. A lot of damage happening. Manages to scare Rush a little bit. Doesn't get the full stagger here due to the terrain, but the Takeda is going to be able to cover a lot of this ground. The scare rushes as well, back to back. The Viper from one of the teams on the right side tries to steal elimination there off the F alone. Did not get the last hit. YZG are going to pick up another one on the board for themselves. It was OA's Viper, I believe, that was trying to snag up the elimination there, but it looks like they're going to get the resources there from that fallen body. Now that that Draco Storm is going to be coming to an end in around 50 seconds, so we're going to stop a little bit of the pressure for now. OA playing the right hand side of this map. YZG posted up for the second Spirit Well. We saw this from Wolves last game as well. You managed to secure that first Spirit Well, you're going to pretty much get the second one as well, as we see here for YZG. Trying to pick up this Mystic Might opposed from the White Tiger's powers. You're already having that information there for yourselves and your teammates to be able to see where everybody is at with this Mystic Might. But now, last one standing is going to be, or last one staying up there is going to be the Takeda. We do have now YZG, full W key in. Sour ultimate up already here. Same strat, right? Pop that ult, get the buff, get the ult right again. And this is where we can get active. Dazzle down to Cookie. Big damage there onto 2 players as well for Xiao Yu. Now, we do have a Viper ultimate happening in the back end. It's just so much happening right now. The Dazzle doesn't connect in the back. So yes, it does. 3 players get caught up here in this corner. The 1.0, big damage there from TXJ. Cookie's going to fall. Another one falls there from WZ, Xiao Yu. And now YZG picking up 2 eliminations there off of that alone, and that's how important these Spirit Wells are. You able to control this in-game tempo, and we see here YZG doing a really perfect job doing that, so with 15 on the board.
Absolutely. And you know, Mystic Might is not the most popular buff out of the ones that you can choose from, but it can be pretty helpful, especially when you're looking to chase down players in these end circles where there's a lot of terrain, a lot of nooks and crannies that you're trying to hide in. You know, you're trying to stay away from that buff team. Mystic Might will do the job and allow you to keep track of everyone in the vicinity, as that circle is pretty much, you know, it's pretty much entirely covered by that Mystic Might AoE sort of like radar that you get with this buff. And the the damage reduction buff is also pretty helpful on top of that. OA, unfortunately, having lost 2 members, 2-tick now on his own. He's gonna have to try and salvage this somehow. It looks as though Wolves may have spotted it out. But look at this, 5-2-1 Pampy. His teammate did go down. I wanted to give props to that Zipping for surviving as long as they did, but unfortunately wasn't able to actually stay alive on the buttery rocks up against TXJ or YZG with that Draco Storm. And it looks as though 2-tick is in a similar situation, not able to stay alive on his own. No ultimate, not able to disengage in this small area. YZG sitting literally on top of this mountain here, just waiting to drop down, waiting for the opportune moment. Wolves preferring to hold on to that ultimate low ground, just below them. We've got Pampy still alive on that monk, who might be able to do something moving forwards if he's able to hold on to that ultimate, but he needs to stay as inconspicuous as possible, otherwise he will have his ultimate forced out very quickly if he gets spotted out by one of these teams.
Yeah, well, here we go. We're going to have our end fights here happening pretty soon. Bauda trying to play in the left-hand side of this map right now, of this encircle. YZG still in the high ground. Do have fully stacked YZG, 3 gold armors there for the squad. Bauda is going to have 1 gold armor, I believe, for the teammate. And Pampy trying to get those placement points here for 521 on the Monk. It's going to be able to apply a lot of pressure, but he's going to be a big target if he forms on up. And look at him, hides in the bush with Wolves. He's like, yo, I'm friendly. Just trying to make it in this. It's like, just chill on me. YZG's on top. We got to be careful. You know they've been dominating so far, so let's just wait this out. Bauda is going to be able to just kite some of that pressure as well. YZG is going to wait for the perfect opportunity. They are going to have that whisk ready here on the Temi with the will hook form on the halberd. So you get caught up by that. That can just be tons of damage. We have Jab in there on gold staff. Yeah, you get caught up there. Everybody just releases inside that pocket there from the will hook form, and it's just a lot of damage. But now a cannon shot's flying down here on the bottom side of the terrain. Pampy is going to be able to get a little bit of reset in here for himself. It looks like all the pressure is going to go towards Wolves' way. Big damage from the cannon. ZK jumps very low in the backside. Has the F2 to stay up, but with the swarm gets the damage and the elimination onto ZK, and one player is going to fall there for Wolves, and Bauda's being able to secure that elimination. YZG was not able to get that one, but still with 15 on the board, they're looking very, very good here in the situation. Now scrap balls unfold. These teams are dropping down now. YZG first one down. Pampy still on the edge of the zone. You don't see me. You don't see me. Wolves goes up. Bauda as well. These players playing the top side. TXJ is going to wait for the perfect opportunity there on the Syra to make sure he can get some sorts of damage there with that gold staff. We do have Pampy still on that bottom right hand side trying to stay up. Now zone completely closing. Temi ultimate called in early. QGG now staying up. Pampy's going to form on up on the outside of this fight, trying to see if he can find some grabs here. This could be bad. Slabs on in there with the Monk. Doesn't get a grab yet. Temi ultimates are still up here. Pampy needs a little bit of time to try to kite this out. It looks like he's going to deform. Get some damage with the cannon shot. Gets the damage on the QGG. Gets a second one as well. And it looks like YZG still in the mix, but Bauda still has 2 players up. The jabbing doesn't connect, and I think the MVP still goes towards YZG's way, but these players play that in circle perfectly, not giving more eliminations there onto YZG, but it doesn't even matter. They're winning in there with 20 kills on the board, or 15 kills on the board, already with a massive amount of eliminations moving into that end circle, and they are going to be deserving of that MVP.
It makes sense to some extent, because my initial perspective on the Kylin Tianhai zipping composition was that, like, you know how when you make compositions for trios, you typically look to include like this duo, like an established duo of characters. Like you've got the Viper Wu Chen, the Karumi to Tianhai, etc. So the Kylin zipping functions very well together, so it made sense. But then it ended up being a sort of Tianhai Kylin duo, and the zipping was just sort of like an extra to go on there with the synergy. But now that we're getting a Feria into the mix, it does kind of confuse things now, as you're missing out on that synergy between the Tianhai and the Kylin. And it looks as though, unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing them do all that much early on in this game, as they do go down to, I believe, Alliance and DRG. Alliance actually on the front foot here, having been able to come in and third party the situation, but Revenge going down in the mix, not looking too good, but they do find that Tessa Charm. The damage comes through. Unfortunately, they're not able to burst down that Yuma just yet. That Justina F is going to keep him alive. Oh no, wait, sorry, I got confused. Kakaishi, I believe. There we go. Kakaishi. Interesting. A little bit of solo combo gaming right there.
Okay.
A little bit of Billy Justina, as I like to call it. Just dashing through like crazy.
Yeah.
Very nice indeed. Moving over up to Sunwing, and we've got Wolves taking down JL.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, Kakaxi with 2-on-1 R&B dash confirmation in trios is insane. We saw how clean he is, but Bauda's still in the mix. This time around against WBG. Iran is going to fall here in the situation. The Sorrow Ultimate still up here for Bauda. The Dazzle into the 3.0 beam there from the Syra. Now, one player remains here from WBG. Leo trying to make a run for it here on the Matari, trying to scatter on out. Zem and ZZZT First one's trying to see if they can try to catch up, but OUG already with 2 full team wipes with 6 on the board currently. Wolves with 3, DRG with 3, Alliance with 4. That perfect third-party action there in the beginning of the game there, and Money taking out that new Feria Keelan comp that we saw in play early on there from WZ. But Bauda still chasing down Leo. We do have him trying to play the Oscars on the map, possibly Resurrection there from WBG in this area. There's a Soldier. I do not see one in the mini map, so he's just trying to make a run for the hills right now, trying to make sure they do not get another one on the board. Doing a really good job so far. Has the F there to cover a lot of ground, but ZZZT as well to be able to use his F there to use the same type of momentum to get up on there in that situation. But here in Celestia, we have DRG and the mix, trying to see if they can scale on up more. Readied up here on the Justina. 2 ults online here for DRG. Still missing that Feria ult for themselves. Alliance, though, a good opener here for game number 3 on the AOT. Ready to see they can play around the outskirts of the round and try to get those third parties or those potential, Yang grease to get those eliminations there. We do have them still trying to scale on up. A lot of teams are. Leo does finally fall there to Bada, so they are going to be able to get that extra elimination on the board. A little bit of resources. Blue armor now, I believe, for Zem as well, off of Leo. So here, they are going to get a little bit of resources off of that. DRG starting to move on in. And, I mean, this is what Duncan was saying. Not a lot of action off drop, right? I mean, still early game. These teams still trying to scale on up. Everybody's pretty much scattered right now. We're looking at these teams and where they're located. A lot of these teams are pretty much scattered, trying to get the most resources before the first round to start getting active inside there. And with a lot of AOT on the board, we're going to have to wait and see which teams decide to take this round.
Yeah, absolutely. You know this spot on the map? I love this spot. This used to be one of my favorite spots. Back in my day, back in the old days when solos didn't give you that extra res when you go into solos and you die, you're cooked. Go back into your queue, buddy. Yep. You go back and sit there. And as a Tarka player, you need ult relatively early, otherwise you're at a disadvantage. No combo break F, very little leverage in neutral. It's rough. So I would land here in that little corner of the map, loot up, and I'd have about 50% of ult going into Shadow Jade Mine. Excellent little drop there, because you couldn't risk dying back in the day. But now we got reses. Just run it, hot drop. Let's get it. Just get Oogly off drop. We got those Firefly spawns. Delicious. Very nice indeed. But yeah, like as I also mentioned, how Morrisal is that unique map with the caves with the fireflies. We only saw one team end up dropping on one of those caves, I believe, and I think it was YZG. We did see another couple teams spawning around Eventide Temple, but I don't think we actually saw a perspective of a team in the cave close to there in the north. So I think YZG picked up their fireflies and then have likely just rotated around, got some loot, and are going to be preparing for Yang moving forward to JL. Are in a bit of a dire situation, unfortunately. But I think they've got a decent amount of money. They might be able to buy themselves a purple armor before going into this realm of Yang that's about to be spawning in the next 20 seconds or so. TE rotating out also on blue armors, not looking too good, not looking too great right now. But again, we see that money, and they're going to be potentially moving over to a shop so they can get that purple armor on one of these priority team members. But I have to say that since the change made to the shop in Immortal War, it's added so much depth to the game, and I have to say I really, really like that. But look, YZG, as I was talking about them before, jumping in onto JL. As this might be a bit rough for JL, as they do have that Tessa Charm coming on through. The Wu-Chen ultimate is going to be traded for 2 ults. The 1.5 ults up. Very nice from YZG.
Yeah, they're going to use that Wu-Chen port to avoid that pressure there from the Zai. Now, the Sara ultimate as well is going to go offline pretty soon here for Cuckoo. They do cast QGG, surfing inside the zone or inside the Toxic. We do have him trying to kite on in, but Cuckoo has full eyes on him. The first Moonbait Charm is going to be used there from DRG. Now, first Rumble Yang as well is going to start spawning pretty soon. YZG starting to move on inside the zone, rotating on in. JL still full trailing them See them there in the mini map, still trying to get their full attention onto another bell is hit here from, I believe, YZG. So JL might get some sort of damage. Since 1.0, XX1 with the big damage there onto TXJ. The Viper trying to stay alive. We have the Matari ultimate called in. TXJ drops very low. Quick elimination there onto that player. JL's Cuckoo now with the jab in there onto QGG. F called in there for both players in the backside. Tessa Chapman there connects there onto CXC, I believe, in the backside. And now QGG is going to fall. And JL now in a 1v2, winning out the situation. Resurrection there onto the Zai. They are going to be able to get these blooms and all the resources that YZG had, and that is just unfortunate for them there in that situation before first round. 521 posted up for this for a first round with Yang. Wolves as well. Players waiting to take this first round. We do have this cannonball comp here for Wolves. Looking stacked there on the Justina. We do have some sorts of purple Jades there for the opposing team as well. We do have them now waiting this out. Pampy, all teams in, but it looks like Wolves are going to be going against OUG on that Monk comp. They are going to be having this strong Monk here for this game. Blue Jades, 2 purple Jades for a 1-on-1 apiece there for SS and Baby U. Zinyu goes up high here on the Monk, trying to find an opener. Looks like it's a clink in the backside. ZK is going to be the one aggressing the Monk here, trying to bait out this Monk ultimate. F caught in there for the Justina in the backside. The drop down with the staff does not connect, and now Zinyu is going to be forced to pop this F. Looks like one player drops very low there for Wolves, and the Feria is going to be able to mech up the NHQ. Is going to be able to go inside that mech, and now Zinyu is going to match as well here against Wolves' Feria. Try to see if he can get some sorts of grabs in the situation. There goes the first stagger there off the missile. Does manage to ice up a lot of the pressure, but he's a big target trying to schmoove around the pillars there to avoid a lot of the damage. No grab. Oh, yes, he does get some grab onto ZK. Now, looking for the slam. Trying to see if he can get the damage, but the damage is going towards Zenju's way. He is going to be eating up a lot of damage. Has to de-monk here. Does manage to do so. Now, ZK is going to go ahead and pop the Justina ultimate into the freeze. R&B focus there for the elimination onto the Monk. And now Wolves have full capitalization here off of this situation. He's going to be able to get his resets off the double dashes as well. Looking for the second. Doesn't get a reset off of that one. SS gets staggered. 1.0 there for the Hong Sword. F caught in there for the Keelan to avoid the pressure, but SS is going to eat up a lot of damage to the backside. 1.0 follow up LMB as well. Just a lot of damage here from the Hong Sword. The Keelan trying to stay up there from Baby U. It's going to eat up the damage off the dual blades as well, and he is going to fall now in a 1v3. Wolves looking to take this round with Yang. They are going to be coming out successful in this round pretty soon.
The spectator there, the cameraman, he saw he anticipated the Justina ult, swapped to the first person POV. He's like, cue the montage music, bro. Let's get it. Billy Justina incoming. We see him pop off, secure those freezes, and just carry the team to victory there. And speaking of victory, we do see 5-2-1 coming out on top of OA in the realm of Yang as well. I believe that Bowder was also successful in their attempts in their realm of Yang alongside the Wolves. We're going to get that triple of a million birds might coming on through for these teams, with WZ also in the mix, having picked up a White Tiger's prowess from a Spirit Well elsewhere. Now, we're going to be going into this sort of period of the game where 3 teams with Yang depletion are going to be rotating around the map and attempting to find an optimal fight to third party, or simply, going to find each other and then fighting each other for those cleanses with those soul blooms for that Yang depletion. It looks as though Bowder with this buff may have spotted out Alliance. Alliance having hidden in a bush, playing this Viper composition, not really all that interested in engaging onto any of these teams just yet during this situation, during this scenario in the game. Bowder is getting forced to use that combo breaker. The Wu Chen ultimate is going to come out now with that Zai ultimate in play, forced to pull the trigger on this Wu Chen ult to disengage. The Tessa ultimate did get thrown out, but unfortunately not very much value coming away from that. NY7 now trying to use these buildings to kite away, but it's not looking too good for him as he doesn't have all that many avenues of escape. He does have that ultimate, but I don't believe he's going to be allowed to actually escape here. The Syra ultimate, the Matari ultimate are both ready to go, and NY7 is going to be the sacrifice for the team, with his teammates making it out and disengaging and living to fight another day. 5-2 521 now heading over to this cave, going to be able to pick up a little bit extra loot, perhaps. Aizen with this golden fist blade is going to be doing a lot of damage coming into this fight. The Bowder getting third-partied here. That monk transformation immediately into the double grab. The kablam coming through. The rejuggle. XEM, where you going, son? There it is. 521 picking up 2 eliminations. Very quick, very sharpish. We got the third party coming in as well from DRG. The Kylan hacking and slashing his way through. Jing goes down. The Fairy Ultimate is in play. And Pampy is going to be eliminated, but they do have that Vermilion Bird's Bite. It's not over just yet. Yin is the next focus. The Fairy are going trying to take him down. I've been looking to peel as much as he can, but it's not to be. I believe he is going to go down regardless, and there it is. Ivan, just let it happen. Just go down, big dog. Don't lose. There it is. Optimal swaps to the blue fan just in case he gets parried. Love to see it. Optimal gaming coming out from 521.
Yeah, that's just reps, right? Making sure you keep your best rarity weapon with the Vermilion's Bird's Bite. It's just insane to do in a situation that with so much pressure. Does manage to do that. OA does manage to force out that monk ult here from OUG. Zenyu now trying to see if he can find a grab, but OA is just being a big nuisance here against the bug, just weaving those grabs. Make sure they do not get grabbed. Now, musket shots, repeating crossbow shots. Last hit there from the Porcer there from Meng. They are going to be picking up elimination there onto Zenyu. I mean, and we've seen how drastic it gets there when all these teams have that Yang depletion timer. One fight unfolds, and everybody somehow finds their way to that. We've seen it time and time again here for game 1 and 2. Already, these teams are ready for the aggression outside of the realm. They know these teams with the buff are going to be getting active, and they're using that for their advantage to make sure they can try to cleanse those Yang depletion timers. And OA still have 2 players with Yang depletion timer. Wolves still in the mix against OA. We do have NHQ in that Fairy mech trying to get some sorts of damage onto OA. PP's going to get dazzled there. Big damage there onto him. LJX as well is going to get hit with a dazzle in the situation. It's a battle of the Cyrus. You see them floating around. LJX now look to try to retreat. The Fairy ult is gone there in the back end. OA now as well is going to get rid of this Cyro ultimate. They are going to be starting moving back in. Wolves in the mix. 521 moving on in here for the third party. Second Roma Yang starting to form on up here for our game number 3. Players still getting real active. Keelan ultimate online here for Ivan. Ivan picks elimination onto NHQ. That player is going to fall there for Wolves. OA is going to try to retreat off of this with 4 seconds of a Yang depletion timer. So just going to count his blessings. Make sure nobody sees his body fall. 2 players already out there for OA. And now, second Roma Yang was 521, and 521. Not gonna say don't want to cast a curse, but they, I'll say it after this. Wolves now starting to move on in. Ivan gets the damage, then drop down there from the Keelan. What were you gonna say?
Oh, no. I thought it was a 2v2. No, it's a 3v2.
We do have Wolves though. Do drop 1 player pretty quickly there, the Faria. 521, he's gonna eat up a lot of the damage. The Wingus connects, and I mean, there it is. I was gonna say 521 has been immaculate in the Realm of Yang, winning those Realm of Yangs back to back non-stop, and they are gonna get buffed up once again with the Draco Storm as well. Gold fist blades, gold armor here for Pampy with a gold staff as well. So this team looking really good, trying to make it to the top 12 threshold, and they're doing very well so here for game number 3.
Looking good. We got that Draco Storm on deck as well, along with the WBG and TE. All 3 of these teams with the Draco Storm going to be tearing through the lobby. I believe one of these teams did manage to secure that for free, uncontested, as I believe there's only 1 team in the lobby with Yang depletion at the moment, and that being Wolves there with only 2 members alive. They are going to have a really troublesome time recovering from this one. They may have enough money to be able to buy back the Feria here, but it's gonna be difficult to salvage just in the end. And it looks as though DRG, speaking of rebirth charms, is gonna be purchasing one of these to try and resurrect their Feria. The Ferias having gone down, come back Feria. We're gonna see them coming back into the mix. Moving over to WBG, who are sitting on the outskirts here, trying to find any strong stragglers, perhaps, rotating at the edge of the storm is a very viable strategy in this scenario, as there's a lot of teams who just don't really want to be in the mix, in the fight, as they know about this Yang depletion scenario, and there are going to be teams desperately trying to create an opportunity to claim some soul blooms and cleanse their Yang depletion. But it doesn't look as though WBG is going to be finding anyone just yet. Alliance sitting on top of this cliff face, just chilling for the moment, not a care in the world. Wolves, on the other hand, they need to make something happen really, really soon. I think that was a rebirth charm on the floor there, actually. Yeah, where the spirit well was? I think it was, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was a little rebirth, so they're going to be trying to resurrect here. This was a moment right before the second round. He picks up the elimination. There it is. Like Duncan called it, there was a rebirth shot, but no, TE starting to move on in. This could be bad for them pretty quickly, but no, it looks like ZK is going to be able to snag up that soul bloom pretty quickly, but gets caught up here in the situation. Bow shot, headshot there, double as well onto ZK. They are not missing there in the back end. He's going to be forced to pop the Justina ultimate, and this is a Draco Storm team. He has to use this a full retreat, using all dashes here to create the distance. Xiaonan in the back and still try to lay it down. Wait, he doesn't cleanse.
No, they can't cleanse just yet. I don't think they're going to be able to, unfortunately.
I thought he got the soul bloom off of that. It does not matter to do so. Was forced to pop the ultimate. Now running into 521, another Draco Storm team as well. Wolves still not finding the opportunity that they need to try to stay up here in this game. 3 players are still up. Only 1 player, the Ferio, without that Yang depletion timer on the back. Pampy in the mix right now. Yin does have a gold rarity. Jade for the Zapine. Pampy fully stacked up here on this gold armor, gold staff as well. We do have him starting to see if he can find sorts of team to get some aggression on. We do see them spot OUG in the back end, but TE and Wolves still getting at it, and HQ is going to fall here in the situation. The 1-2 there from TE. They're going to snag up another one on the board, and that's going to be their second elimination, I believe, of this game. Their first, actually, as we see it in the bottom left-hand side corner. LJX, though, with 1:49 on the Sara. Gold longsword, good weapon to have, but nobody around, and the only teams that are around are gonna have that Draco Storm. Oh, it's pretty much gone now. Wolves, though, still in the mix, though. They're gonna have to see if they can try to find some sorts of third-party alliance starting to move on in. A lot of these players moving towards Celestia now, with the zone spreading right now, zone 3. 31 players still alive. Big in-game circle looking like here for this game still. Now, we do have LJX. Wait this out. I mean, it's looking rough for them. Not having any sorts of value here to make sure they can try to cleanse. Alliance are going to be having that AOT online. I think they do spot the no ult zone in the back end, so they could be rotating towards that way. JL, though, against WBG. WBG only has 1 purple armor on one of the players. Everybody else has blue. WZ inside the zone in the backside. JL playing a little bit more conservative side, waiting for that perfect opportunity. Bauda, though, still waiting this out. Do have them scaled up. Replay quickly here from our second Roma Yang. This was Bauda against DRG. DRG gets caught up in the back end. Kakashi, I believe. Saro ultimate invested there from both teams as well. We do have the Zai trying to find some sorts of opener. Gets caught up in the top side. The Syra, no dazzle connects there in the top side. But the Farrier does manage to mech up here for DRG. The big stomp does not connect there for the missile shot, but ZZZT manages to kite out, gets caught up with the dazzle into the freeze as well there from the Justina. Does manage to pop the Zai ultimate. Now trying to take a quick little reset in. No pressure thrown his way. This could be bad here for DRG. Gets a triple burn off of that into the F2 LMB. That's just a lot of damage there from the Zai. And now Bauda with the upper hand. Go ahead and full aggresses the Pharaoh out of Mac. In the 1v3, it's just rough there. And Bauda coming to the top there in that second Roma Yang.
That was very nice indeed for Bauda. ZZZT, or Sleepy T as I like to call him, because saying 3 Zs is a bit much, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Very, very nicely done. That Zai ultimate getting a lot of value. Excellent to see. And you know what else is excellent to see? 5-2-1 looking pretty strong right here, sitting on this spirit well, and they are indeed going to be holding off on capturing it, as we've seen it time and time again, to extend the effective duration of the buff. Now, if they are able to secure this, then it may mean that they are going to go entirely uncontested moving forwards in that final spirit well of the lobby. JL looks as though they're they're giving chase to WBG here. Year Run getting up onto this tower. DRG also in the mix. There's a lot of teams close by. Alliance, OUG, all of them are very, very close together. I believe I'm not too sure if this is deliberate, because it doesn't look as though they're committing. Deliberate to try and avoid the team that will inevitably get their hands on the Draco Storm, and just to essentially be out of line of sight and to just be as inconspicuous as possible. It looks as though we do have a bit of contest for the top of this tower. JL are being contested and forced off. XX or Xiao Luo is forced to disengage. WBG now holding onto it just for the moment, staying off the ground. The floor is lava. You don't want to be down there caught in between all of these teams, especially with a Draco Storm coming on through, as I believe they will be picking that up momentarily with the next Spirit Well spawning in within the next minute or so. Alliance still on 2 blue armors, not looking too good. However, this is the attack on Titan Comp, and they are going to be able to absolutely explode a player if need be at a moment's notice. Now we can see 531 still here, ready and waiting to pick this up. Ibin, I believe, is about to pop that ultimate and immediately start running over to all of this chaos that is surely about to ensue.
Yeah, nobody contests that Draco Storm. 521 waiting for that last moment. Think they do manage to pick it up now. They are going to be going to start rotating on in. All these players playing on the outer ring on the right-hand side of the Zone 4, Zone 5, starting to move on in now. We do have the Spirit Well collection here from 521. Full gold armor 521. Grapple on in. Do have O online here for the Keelan as well. These players are ready to get aggressive against all these squads, and they see everybody. Just look at everybody in the backside moving. They do not want to get caught up by this Draco Storm, but it looks like Alliance is in the back end, caught up in this hut here in the backside. This could be bad with this Keelan O online here for these teams. He's looking for the perfect opportunity, making sure he's a little bit of passive, doesn't get caught up by a potential third party. OA looking for some aim shots there on top side. Cannon shots flying on in there towards Alliance, and Alliance eating up a lot of pressure here from a lot of these teams. 521 still up. They are going to be able to get a little bit of reset there with their cannons. Alliance could be the ones being picked up here from 521. We do have everybody just out. They do not want to get caught up. Fully scattered in to the opposite side of the zone, pretty much where the Spirit Well was now. But 521 does not want to be taken out here. Do they not want to get super aggressive? They want to try to collect the second Spirit Well that's about to form on up right after this one runs out here for 521. Random Bane up here as well, so you got to be careful playing in the middle of the zone. We see them already posted up for the Spirit Well, already more than halfway through there for it to spawn. So no teams are going to contest this, and this is a pattern we're seeing from a lot of these squads. If they are to secure that second to last Spirit Well, they're pretty much guaranteed this last one as well. And for game number 3 this time around, we have a White Tiger's powers up for grab here for that last Spirit Well. So those eliminations coming into play are going to be a very good sight here for 521. Looks like TE though is contesting this. I don't see 521 around. Oh, they are on the left hand side. I see him in the mini map. Look, there it is. Pamper, back up. This is mine. You better back up. He is going to be able to leap on in, and the pressure is going to be going towards 521's way. They are going to be able to get the majority of this Spirit Well now. I don't think any other team might be contesting this. DRG does though. These teams are starting to move on in, but Don Q gets grab off of this. The double grab from Pampy as well. And there goes the slam. The Sour John's very low. They are going to be getting some of that health there from that Sour ultimate. So the white health is very low there from Don Q. Now he is going to be able to dazzle around that Spirit Well, but it's just a matter of time. The ultimate is going to run out. We do have 521 starting to move right back on in. The dazzle connects there onto Pampy. Don Q now trying to apply some pressure there onto TE in the backside. Looks like the killing ultimate has been called in. Very old goes up there for Kakaxi. I've been in the mix since the RB mid-range focus gets the damage now. Contesting this does not go towards 521's way. These players are fighting this team off there for that Spirit Well, not giving it up this easy this time around. TE managed to stay up. Alliance does pick an elimination there onto DRG in this hut. This could be bad there. I do see a player dropping very low. Cannon shots flying on in. Some more ultimates there in the Spirit Well in the back end there for OA. OA might be able to contest this and capture this. Looks like a little bit of dazzle there onto one of those players. WBG still full focus on in, manages to stay up there off the egg, gets counter grapple though, is gonna eat up a lot of damage into the RB focus there from the Takeda for the elimination there from OA's onto WBG, and now OA still trying to catch this up, but look at the Spirit Well, it does not even get captured even that much. It was already halfway through and it drops very low. OA is gonna be forced to back on up. All these players still contested. 5-1 Yin does manage to pick up elimination onto OA. Bowda now the main team in the Spirit Well. OA in the backside still trying to stay up. Looks like Bowda can't eat up a lot of damage off the cannon shots. JL picking up elimination onto OA as well. Players are dropping 2v3s for a lot of these teams, I believe. So now JL in the backside, WBG starting to move on into the Spirit Well. Tesla Ultimate called in the backside. I think Yuma is going to be able to get it back inside that hut. I've been now with this Keelan Ultimate, wants to recontest, but WBG, I believe, picks up this White Tower's powers, and they are going to be the ones that are going to be able to get that sort of aggression there with that Buffalo.
Indeed. It looks as though Iben got forced to use that ultimate, having unfortunately not been pushed off of this Spirit Well. I think that it was due to the zone and just how many teams were all around them, because it spawned essentially in the middle and gave them no wall at their back, so they could be very safe in saying that they weren't going to be contested at all. But look at this, we've got the monks coming out to play, throwing hands. Jin Yu finds a grab onto Cuckoo too. He goes down. JL losing their Syra, not what you want at this point in the game. We get a grab from Pampy onto Jing, immediately getting chunked down in the hand. The double grab comes through, but not able to slam Pampy, taking so much damage that being forced not to be able to slam it is not what you want, because you lose so much health. But the cancel onto NY7 from Jin Yu. Get down, Mr. President, I will save you, he says. Jin Yu coming in clutch with the grab, canceling Alliance's potential in this end zone. NY7 now left to just wring his hands, not sure what to do. No ult in the back pocket. Bowda now looking to try and take control, but the dreadful whale coming in, cutting them down. ZZZT, Sleepy T, go to sleep, buddy. Go into the night, into the storm you go, senor. Jing goes down. He's going down pretty soon. I imagine Pampy might be able to pick up the kill here. Revenge picking up another. Pampy does find that kill onto Sleepy T. Ivan so close to that ultimate, might be able to come in clutch here and finish off this fight, finish off this lobby with a bang, with a slash and dash through the rest of these players. Pampy in that ultimate, gonna be going for those grabs, looking to the sky, trying to find something, finds one. Does he find another? Meng in the hand, trying to tap out, desperately getting out of that grab. He does manage to survive, but only for a moment. He gets that ult down. Pampy being knocked into the zone, just barely staying alive, de-transforming. Will he be able to stay on his feet? I highly doubt that. That dreadful whale knocking players into the zone. Jin Yu next on the docket. There he is. The ult comes through. C8, who's coming out on top here, buddy? Because I have no idea.
Jin Yu with a perfect grab off of that monk as well. Gets a double grab. Doesn't get the slam, I believe. Players are dropping. OUG manages to stay up, picking up pretty much all the eliminations. Alliance does pick up 4 as well. Oh my god, it went both ways. But OUG and Alliance pretty much matching themselves there with the eliminations, picking up 16 apiece there in that end circle. And that dreadful well was just so much pressure there for these teams. I saw a player eat back-to-back dreadful wells there. That's just unfortunate off of that situation alone. But I mean, that's just how important it is to be fully smart. You gotta, you want to have one of those chips on your back. But here we go, off drop, OUG, WZ. First one's getting active, and it looks like it's gonna be Sand Siphon versus Siphon.
Exactly. We do have 2 firefighters it has not spawned this time, actually, but we do have those 2 fireflies as one. Just I mean, sadly, I can't actually point it out all that easily, but there's 2 of them there. You just gotta trust me. Regardless, WZ scrapping it out against OUG. OUG on the front foot currently. Cookie desperately trying to disengage, kiting away with this greatsword. Some greatsword gaming coming in with a half charge RMP. Jin Yu doesn't know what hit him, but it looks as though WZ's gonna lose 2 men members in the process. OUG taking advantage of the situation. The RMB round the corner. He's not expecting it. Another one coming through. Cookie holding the RMB, but not able to dodge away the end frames on the LMB RMB. It's a little bit too much there, unfortunately, for Cookie, but a valiant effort nonetheless. I believe that OUG will likely be heading over to this puzzle and securing that high tier loot from this Morris.
Yeah, valiant effort there from Cookie. Had some good openers there against that 2v1, but was not able to secure the dub at the end. TE now posted up, trying to scale on up here in the early game 4 on that Xiphon comp. They are going to be able to get pretty much all the mats from that area. YZG already scrapping against JL. Keelan comp up online. Takeda ultimate already called in here for QGG. In the backside, XX1 is going to respond as well with a Keelan ult. Does manage to get one slash, but is getting full capitalized there from the Syra ultimate in the back end. Does get staggered as well. Tegas Jade there with the elimination onto the Keelan. Now QGG trying to stay up. I believe the ultimate is gone here for the Takeda. Drops out R&B focus, but Cuckoo was ready for that. He's going to get a massive parry there. QGG is going to be able to back on up. Trying to play in the backside of this tower. One Fong does not manage to find any grabs just yet. Trying to ice out some of the pressure there from Cuckoo to make sure he does not get full W keyed in. But CXZ as well starts moving on in. TE waiting, posted up for that third party. You see them lurking in the shadows, trying to see for the perfect opportunity to start moving on in. And this could be pretty soon with that Monk ultimate gone. QGG now F up here for the Takeda. Got to be careful releasing blue on his character. Cuckoo though to be able to stay up. Postal Stone form there for that player. But the Syra ultimate with so much damage there for TE, and TE moving on in there at perfect timing, snagging the elimination onto QGG in the corner. Cuckoo getting caught up. Sakura just being able to output so much damage in the corner. Cuckoo is going to fall here in the situation, I believe, as well. And there it is. And peak there with massive plays there off the Syra.
But he's just stone folding. Help! Help! The Cyrus. They go nowhere, buddy. You're getting cooked in the corner, bro. Hey. There it is. He does go down. It's an unwinnable situation, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah.
And it looks as though this might be an unwinnable situation for Yin. 5-1. Yin drops down that mech for his teammate, going up into the sky, avoiding that Viper ultimate. But it looks as though we might be able to get a trade here. Pampy coming in with a huge parry in that Justina ultimate. No dashes left on the block, but hey, he's still cooking. The RMB into the delayed re-RMB tries to find a dash, but just unfortunately not able to find that actual connection. Looks to try and cancel. I believe perhaps his ult cancelled in that moment as well. Leo, the clank comes through. Pampy holding that horizontal, trying to find an opening. The Tessa F comes in. Yeran gets peeled off, but only for a moment. Syra goes to the skies. Ivan comes back down, trying to find something. Pampy gets cooked by the Tessa. Ultimate is going to get charmed up in just a moment. There it is. Unfortunately, not able to salvage this fight. WBG, calm and collected, able to take advantage of the numbers that they had, the numbers advantage they created themselves early on in the fight. Well done to them, absolutely. Definitely unfortunate situation for Justina there, though. I believe he did get just enough rage to get one more dash, but as the dash happened, his ult ended. And so he got put in a really goofy situation. The surprise just threw him off just threw him off, and he immediately then pressed F in a situation that potentially he wouldn't have needed to, losing a bit of leverage in this fight. And it is what it is. It happens. It's happened to me countless times with Taka. You know, you're in ult, last few seconds, you go for a punch, and then boom, ult ends. Punch is gone, buddy. You know, it's just like, okay, all right, nice. I get hit by LMP, I'm dead. Oh, excellent. You know, it's just like, this stuff happens. It's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but they do have their rebirths. They're going to be able to recover moving forwards. And considering they did get one kill, you know, not too bad. They're on 70 points, and they're very, very close to that qualification that they so desperately want to that bi-weekly final.
WZ does catch YZG a little bit here at Plume Castle. Just a little bit of pokage here from these squads, trying to make sure they can get some sorts of aggression, some damage. Ult's up here for WZ. Doesn't look like they are going to get full aggressive there onto the opposing squad. Bauda as well could potentially I believe this was Resurrection here for Balda here in the Soul Tour. So trying to see if they can find more scale resources, possibly in the cave. WBG still getting active this time around against OUG. No ults have been popped yet, so we're going to be seeing this sequence pretty soon. We have Moonbane called in here for OUG though. This could be bad for WBG. Lots of damage happening there in the backside. Looks like one of the players does get parried. The Syra there for OUG gets caught up there onto the follow, and Baby Jew is going to fall there from Zing. Big damage, even though they had a Moonbane. WBG staying up. SS is going to be caught up there with a Tesla enchantment. Zinyu in the back end, trying to lay down the pressure off the Syra, gets caught up. The Wu-Chen port to stay up there for WBG, and that's a lot of damage there. WBG lives to see another day. It's going to go ahead and take a full reset in, and that's 5 on the board, 4 I should say there for WBG. OUG are going to be able to get the resurrection and still trying to get active against WBG. We do see them full grapple on in, and WBG need to kite this out to try to get that Wu-Chen ult back online. So they do not want to take this aggression onto that squad right now. They are going to be able to back on in, and we do have our first Roma Yang starting to form on up. OUG with 3 as well as Wolves, TE and YZG with 2 apiece, 521 with 1, and WBG with 4, and WZ with 1 currently here for this first game. Alliance already posted up for that first Roma Yang, ready to take this here on the Sand Siphon. Beautiful squad to be able to, or beautiful comp to use this in the realm. Looking to see, we see another YZG realm though with that Temi opener. We saw the value that it got inside the Roma Yang there for our second game. So we'd love to see it once again. We do see them posted up in that Plume Castle gate. OA, Bauda, WZ, all posted up on that bottom left-hand side realm. This could be a little bit of aggression happening. It looks like WZ are going to be going for that Draco Storm outside the realm. OA laying down a little bit of pressure there onto that team, possibly just range pressure onto that squad. Bauda starting to move on in, and there it is. Yeah, it's just a little bit of pressure there from the range. Make sure they don't get the full thing for free. But it looks like Wolves going to contest this Draco Storm as well. Could be a little bit of backup. WZ are going to be able to back on up. DRG starting to move on in, and here it is. This could be a big fight here for the Spirit. Well, 3 squads scrap off. Wolves does take the Roma Yang, or squad in the back does take the Roma Yang. Wolves still contesting this Spirit well. Ultimate's called in. Test enchantment there onto Xiao Yu. They are going to be having that Zyra ultimate online though. WZ Cookie is going to be enchanted as well. Massive R&B focus. The click comes in. Massive peer there for that squad to avoid a full capitalization. Now Luye on the Matari is going to be able to dash around. The Zyra still up, applying tons of pressure. Big parry there from ZK. That's going to be a lot of damage onto Cookie. Gets down to stun though. No follow-up off of that alone. And Cookie eating up a lot of damage. The Wucha ports Wolves out, and now we have our first Roma game. Is going to be JL against YZG.
Oh my god, that clank coming in at that last second was insane. Because if he got that focus off, the double charge R&B on the Hang Sword, bro was dead.
They're dead.
He was in the ground. But a huge clutch coming out from that other team. But here we are, as you said, we are in the realm of young YZG up against JL. Kukutu getting locked up for a moment, but a huge parry coming through on the backside. Eyes in the back of his head. He's ready. TXJ in that Syra ultimate, looking to make something happen, sending out these pulse shots, trying to find the dazzle. Oh, he does find one, actually. Cuckoo getting caught by the Tumult Wisp as well after the dazzle. Tries to get the 2-1-1, not able to connect it. Unfortunately, TXJ now forced to use that combo break to disengage. Zhao coming in with that overhaul, beautifully done into the follow-up as well. TXJ has nowhere to go, immediately getting tech chased down by those jump LMBs on the fist blades. Oh my god, beautiful, lovely play coming out from JL, taking down one of the titans of the scene. YZG, the champions of the first bi-weekly, along with TXJ being just the absolute GOAT, the well-known genius of the scene, taking them down in the realm of Yang. Very well done indeed. And now JL immediately going to be coming out of that realm of Yang and finding themselves Alliance, who also have that Vermilion Bird's Might. A parry comes through. Oh, do we steal the weapon? I'm not sure if we did, but JL are going to be pulling the trigger onto that Tianhai ultimate. NY7 kiting back, waiting, biding his time, having used that F1, trying to find a way in with that fan. Catches Kukutu in the wall. Do have that Tumulk ultimate. It is doing work for them currently. One Fang still trying to find the grabs, finds one onto TX. TXJ Kukutu, 1 HP in a dream, does manage to roll away. That healing from the zipping is gonna keep him alive, but only for the moment. One Feng finds another grab. Yuma goes into the sky with that wisp and gets re-grabbed. Beautifully done by JL, picking up their 4th elimination of the game. Now Alliance 2v1 in Kukutu here, tries to cross, not able to do so. The fist blades catching him at the end of the tap dodge. JL now in the 2v2 situation, and Y7 has that F1 on. The slaps are coming out. It doesn't catch the blue focus from the slap, so it's exactly what you need to be doing against that Takeda F1. Beautifully done. Now One Feng pulling out the greats a little bit optimistic there. We've all done it. Send that R&B, gets parried. Alliance looks as though they're gonna I don't know if they're gonna be able to come out with this one. 1 versus 2 situation. The scale rush is coming in. NY7 trying to do something. Broken purple fan trying to find an opening, but he's not able to do so, and there it is. JL cleaning it up, going to 6 eliminations.
Yeah, that's crazy. Both buff teams going at it there, and Alliance had a lot of the upper hand there for the majority of that fight. But once that monk came online there for JL, grabbing that Temi there for the elimination with the follow-up off the killing, just turned the tables around there for JL, making sure they're staying up on top, and then they start up the 2v2 on the bottom side of the terrain to continue that momentum, and they are the ones coming out successful there in that fight against Alliance. But now JL, 75 seconds still left on the Brilliance Birds. Might not be taking any aggression yet. Could be running out pretty soon. We do have TE, YZG, both with that Yang depletion timers on their back. Now YZG still has to cleanse 2 on the board. Starting to move on in. They do see, I believe, one of Bowder's member of 521 probably potentially spots them there on the bottom side of the terrain. They do. They're going to wait for the perfect opportunity. They have to try to get active pretty soon to try to cleanse. But 521 is starting to move on in to the second round. Wolves as well. And this is a very tricky situation. We saw it earlier where the third party comes in. They did come up on top, but you got to be careful with those third parties. CTE starting to move on in, trying to get this fight started against 521. 521 on that cannonball, trying to lay down some of that pressure there with the range. Zai Ultimate called in, I believe, or it was the F2 there from Youth. They are going to be able to start coming on in. Justina Ultimate called in from Pampy in the backside. Could potentially go for those long-range freezes off of that alone. The F2 there onto Pampy, though. Big dazzle there from the Syra there to ice off the pressure there from Youth onto the Justina. Now gets caught up. WZ now eating up some of the damage, but it looks like Pampy gets caught up by the Matari as well. The Zai Ultimate is going to be invested here from Youth. Dazzle's on up there from Peak to trying to stay up. Pampy in the backside does manage to reunite there with 521. Down in the backside, first one in there for his squad to continue the aggression. Massive burn damage there from the Zai there onto 2 players. Cookie's gonna pick elimination onto one of TE's member. TE falls off of 1 member alone in a 2v3. YZG's TXJ here on the Syra Ultimate does manage to put up a lot of damage there onto TE. We do have him trying to back on up here from the situation. WZ starts moving on in. 521 still in the mix. We do have YZG picking up a second elimination this time around against Youth, and now the Dazzle does not connect this time around. The 3-beam does, though. Another elimination. We do have 521 still in the mix. YZG does manage to cleanse this out. They're doing a really good job being to pick up 2 eliminations out of that sequence. So still in this game, 521 to be forced to try to go back inside the zone. WBG, though, still in the mix. WZ are the ones moving on in first against YZG. And I believe they don't have ults online, so this could be bad, but Ivan gets caught up here, and Ivan's going to fall against Yao Yu, and WZ picking one up there for his squad, and Cookie on the Zai are going to start moving on in, potentially spotting CXZ. The Temi here for YZG gets caught up into the 1-2 in the corner. Just tons of damage, overholds. F2 does not connect, goes a little bit too overboard, but now gets caught up in the backside. 2 Temi Whis, or 2 connections on that Temi Whis, and CXC is going to fall there in that situation. WZ with perfect third party. QGG still up there for YZJ, but 2 players fall. Wills pick up the Spirit Well. The OUG is waiting for the second Roma Yang, and it looks like OA is going to be taking it. We're going to have our second Roma Yang pretty soon.
It's gonna be spicy, this one. We have the rainbow armors on the side of OA. We've got gold, purple, and blue. OUG got the double purple and the blue on Jinyu. Baby U now getting immediately chased down, trying to go up to the sky, gets knocked down, losing about half of that purple armor. Now going back up, popping that F1, looking for the drop down. The Matari ultimate is in play. The Zai now being forced out. Tutik trying to disengage. Baby U and Jinyu trying to lock these players down, and they do so. Tutik goes down, having dashed back in. Meng now caught against the wall in the sandstorm. OUG making it look easy, just dismantling OA. Now Baby U waiting below the Syra, waiting for this angel of death to come down, and there it is. Baby U is going to be able to clean this up along with his teammates, claiming that Draco Storm, I believe, and picking themselves up a golden armor and a gold greatsword. Very nice indeed. Sadly, it's a pole sword in disguise in this game. It looks as though Alliance is going to be the other team getting a victory in the realm of Yang, picking up a Draco Storm for themselves. I don't believe I caught who else it was. So JL? Damn, JL were on an absolute tear, and they go down to Alliance in the realm of Yang here. Also, I did want to comment, YZG, we saw how you saw how they were just sort of taking a back foot. You could recognize that they were patiently waiting for that other Yang depletion team to engage, because they knew that they were going to have to do it. They came in with a perfect clutch, cleansed all three, but then on top of that, we saw Cookie and his team come in with the third party and clean up that fight. This whole dynamic, the Yang depletion situation, it's so intricate with so many different potential strategies that it's really hard to survive these days with Yang depletion in play. And speaking of, I believe we might have a fight here. OUG, JL. No, wait, no. OUG does not have Yang depletion. They won their realm of Yang, of course. I can't tell who they're fighting. The map's a bit hectic right now. Oh my goodness. OA and JL's in the mix, but they're not resurrected just yet. OA with Yang depletion need to find some soul blooms, but WZ is the one that is gonna go down first. Xiao Yu getting immediately eliminated by OUG, taking that soul bloom away from OA as well. I believe they're gonna be trying to find a way in though. OUG now disengaging, having used all of those ultimates. OA, where do we go? We come back. Hey. They do have some time though, so it's not the end of the world just yet. They do have a little bit of time to wait before the Yang depletion actually kills them, and it looks as though JL might be about to pull this trigger.
And the second to last Spirwell should be coming up pretty soon as well. OUG continuing their momentum from game number 3, now in game number 4 with 10 on the board for this game alone. Already securing that second place spot, 113.7 points. JL still trying to contest that, not too far gone from that as well. But the teams I'm looking at right now is going to be YZG with 73.1, 521 with 71.5, and Bauda with 69.5. These teams in that 12th place threshold, contesting for that, trying to see if they can make it into that top 12. It's going to be very close between these three teams for these remainder of these 3 matches as well. So those teams are going to be fighting it out to try to make it into that top 12. JL already investing this Monk ultimate here. It looks like they were going against OA, and OA still has that Yang depletion timer, have not cleansed yet. They're going to probably wait this Monk out. If they do manage to demonk now, it looks like OA start full throttling in once again. JL trying to scatter on out. No Monk online. The F2 opener here from OA's Zai. They're going to get some sorts of damage. XX1 is going to be forced to pop this Keelan ultimate. They are going to be able to get 1 slash in, 1 Fong in the back end, but no ult, trying to build up some of that rage. Now the Zai in the backside, trying to wait for the perfect opportunity to try to pop this ultimate. The Matari ultimate was popped. I believe we do have him eating a little bit of the damage there off this Keelan ultimate. Now PP is going to eat up the damage as well. The Sire F called in. The Zai ultimate has to come online pretty soon. It is online. I see it already. The chains unleashing. XX1 with a beautiful F there to avoid tons of damage. Massive parry as well there onto the Matari, and the Matari's gonna eat up a lot of damage, but the peel there from OA into the F2 finisher there for OA Zai, and that's a beautiful showcase in there against JL, and one player falls there from JL. OA's cleanses, and they have to full throttle in once again to try to get the remaining 2 players cleansed, but OA full rotating in. 521 already in the mix. WZ, Alliance, all these players and teams starting to move on in. to a congested area. We do have potentially this team falling with 1:14. Same situation for JL as well. They probably have the same amount of time for that Yang depletion timer to come into full effect. But for now, still trying to see if they can find some sorts of opening. We do have OUG though. This is not the team you want to run into. We do have them try to grapple across from them. The first one on the scene could be Meng in the backside, but 521 getting active. Pampy here with his Justine ultimate. Cuckoo's gonna fall in this situation. And that's another member there from JL. And now only the Monk stays up there for JL. 521 securing another one on their board for themselves, trying to close out the distance there against YZ. But Wolves are gonna pick up one on the board. YZG as well. OUG's in the mix. Now, Temi ultimate called in here for CXZ. They're gonna be applying a little bit of the pressure. It's gonna be a double rest for both sides. TXJ could potentially come up. He does. I don't think the Wolves member. Yes, he did. Both teams managed to get one resurrection apiece. Sour ultimate up now here in the situation. Tons of pressure. Wolves now getting full dazzle here onto the Tesla with no ult online. This is looking very tricky here for themselves, but still staying up with a player advantage. Massive parry there in the backside there from LJX. That's what comes into play there for TXJ. Manages to ice out some of the pressure there onto the opposing teammate, but NHQ still up. Alliance pick up the elimination onto one Fawn. CXC trying to scatter on out. First one to try to full grapple one in. NHQ does not manage to get the grapple stun. Moving on into OUG. This could be potentially bad here for Woods, but still, this player still full throwing it in. Gets caught up here in the corner. Big damage. Half or quarter of that white health left here for that player. The Temi still trying to stay alive, trying to see if they can get the elimination. I don't believe anybody does from that squad, but WZ, oh my God, gets the berry. He's like, oh my God, I gotta run. I don't even care about the follow-up. I need to stay alive here in this situation. He is ready to try to find a little bit more loot later on, but he cuts noise, cuts the line of sight. He is gonna stay alive here in the situation. Was forced to get a common armor, but Alliance is already posted up for that Spirit Well, and it's gonna be a Mystic Might here for the first one, the second to last one here for game number 4.
I actually wanted to comment as well. The YZG was actually fighting that from the start against Wolves in a 2 versus 3. They took down the Viper and then had to likely reset for a moment, and then one of them dies. TXJ goes down, and then they take down the Viper again. And they were in 2 versus 3 scenario for that entire time and put up such a fight. Like, actually, that was insanely good coming out from YZG. And unfortunately, now it looks as though CXZ is going to be going down rather soon as he's run into WZ, and now Alliance, who are coming in with this Mystic Might buff, going to make it all but impossible to disengage, as they do have this Mystic Might, they have the radar, they're just gonna be keeping track of him non-stop, dropping that ultimate. CXZ trying his best to disengage, and Revenge getting stuck on the rocks there. Buttery rocks, get off me. He's trying. We're still chasing him down. They do eventually find him. Alliance picking up another elimination, and YZG, unfortunately, a rare occurrence where they do just go down in the mid game here. I'm not sure what happened initially for the Takeda to get eliminated fully, but hey, it is what it is. They put up a valiant effort regardless. Now, moving on into these last few minutes of the game, 6 minutes left on the clock. We have OUG, one of them with the kill leader title. Wolves here looking pretty solid. 2 purple armors, full set of jades. Nothing gold, but sometimes you don't even need it. Sometimes those purple jades are just enough. You know, Phantoms. Focus on the Oh, sorry, my throat is something. All right, moving on. Sorry about that. DRG now seems to be the focus of Alliance right now. Player trying his best to disengage, but as I said before, Mystic Might gonna make it impossible. Kakaishi trying his best. The Viper on their own. The F does get used, does get sent out to try and self-peel, but NY7 waiting on the flank, waiting for him to come into the clutches. Going atop this rock formation is gonna drop down, but it's not looking good for MCA. He's trying. The armor swap. But body's not looking pretty healthy there. He goes to the zone. No. I mean, better than giving a kill, I guess.
Yeah, better. He was getting full focus. Does Master Ice on a little pressure. Gives the elimination there to the zone, but Now for game number 4 this time around, I don't think any team is going to contest this time around. We did have some contesting for game number 3, but how Duncan mentioned was just the area where that last spirit world was, just gave a lot of viability for these squads to contest it, opposed to where this one is, correct? And game number 2 and 1, where it's a little bit more spread out, and if you have that second to last buff, you just have the full value of being able to get the last one as well. But Bauda, WZ, hopefully giving themselves a little bit of a love tap there to make sure their presence are known. Wisp throw doesn't connect there in the backside. They're going to wait this out, and it's going to be Draco Storm. Alliance could potentially run to this game with a lot of eliminations already with 9. And this was the same kind of setup we saw OUG last game, which going into the in-game circle. Now this time around with Alliance, now it's a good setup for themselves to start getting these kills up if they get this Draco Storm. Wolves, though, playing the top right-hand side of this zone 6 spread in about 55 seconds and counting for these teams to start getting more congested. OUG playing the low ground, 521. Playing that bottom right-hand side hub. Bauda in the mix. We got scrap offs though. WBG. The first one's in are Wolves there with elimination onto WBG's Leo. Enchant me there from the Tessa was not even needed. Uran is going to fall there. NHQ is going to snag an elimination there in the backside. Repeating crossbow shots there from Yuma are going to be able to get some sorts of damage. Viper ultimate called in here for ZQ. He is gonna, or ZK. He is going to be able to get. I don't think he gets a stun in the backside. He does manage to get one. I think now the Temi ultimate called in there for Alliance. And this was the perfect opportunity that Alliance is need here with this Draco Storm, with this all up as well. This is going to be massive. There goes the silence, and it's a 2-1-1. Big damage on the corner there, but the dazzle there, the peel for the Syra. You can know all the 2-1-1s, but it doesn't even matter. I have ult there for the Syra. It's going to stack at the elimination. Now, Revenge still trying to apply the pressure here onto these teams. The dazzle connects onto 2 members there from Alliance. The Fairy ultimate is going to be called in here for 521 Yin. He is going to be able to get some sorts of damage there inside a hut against Alliance. And now, back to full health. The Lions looking really healthy. Applied a lot of pressure to the remaining of these squads. We do have now 5-1 shifting on their attention onto Bauda. OUG as well could potentially get in this mix, but Alliance still full throttle in. They have 115 seconds left on this Draco Storm. See if they can find another one. He says the wind spell, big damage onto Iben, and White 7 there with the elimination onto Iben. Iben's gonna fall, and I think only 2 players remain there for 521. And now another member getting caught up. Yin there, 521, and Alliance here just full double keying in. 13 on the board already for Alliance. Massive plays here for the squad with this Draco Storm just causing havoc. And now the Monk called in for Bauda. ZZZT trying to look for grabs. Has to potentially look for one of the members of Alliance, but the Temi ultimate is going to call in there to cut line of sight. Oh, he's going to Google stop 2 players from WZ there on the top side of the rock. Gets a grab off of that alone there onto LJX. A double grab as well. Bauda ZZT coming out with the re-grab onto another player there from WZ. Trying to see if he can find a second one. Gets the slam now. Gets the elimination inside of zone. And this zone is going to take a lot of damage, but Alliance picking up another one on the board. I hear a resurrection happening right behind him. I don't think he notices. Does not manage to grab any more, but now the Takeda ultimate is going to come into play. Loses a lot of that HP. Half white HP left there for the Monk. And White 7, though, still applying tons of pressure in the back end. OUG snags up that elimination. Massive parry. Takeda ultimates are out. The Cyber stagger there in the backside into the dazzle as well. And White 7 eating up a lot of damage. Zenyu, though, causing lots of havoc here against Alliance. The double dazzle onto Alliance. Now, trying to see if he can find another elimination on the board. Revenge is going to respond here with the Cyber ultimate of his own. Alliance still fighting in this with 16 on the board. OUG with 14, closing out that distance. Both of these teams neck and neck for these eliminations here in his last moments of game number 4. Bauda is going to pick him another one to WZ. OUG catching up Bauda once again inside his hut. Now that's 15 on the board for OUG. Alliance still with 16. And this is the last fight here, but I believe here between both of these teams. No, we still have more players up. OUG still finding Alliance and OUG going at it right now. Takeda's ult still using for the pills. Managed to get a gold armor swap. Revenge's going to eat a lot of damage. That player is going to fall, and Alliance loses 1 member. OUG still with 3. The Takeda ultimate looks like it's lasting for a whole eternity here. The F called in as well. Peppy getting called in, getting caught up at the top side of the mountain. The Temi ultimate called in. Peppy just making sure he does not be able to go back inside the zone. But OUG take out Yuma. Now OUG with 70 on the board. Alliance's fall, and even with no buff, OUG coming in hot here for game number 4. Xiao Yu getting caught up there on the Temi wall. OUG's SS trying to find a whisk. Just look at him full stagger. Can't even move there with that Temi ultimate. Perfectly placed there from OUG. He does manage to pop the Syra ultimate. Zhang Yu trying to apply as much damage as he can, but it doesn't even matter. OUG, what a crazy game 4 there in those last and final moments. And that was just insane and beautiful there for OUG.
Massive from OUG. It's an absolutely amazing performance across the board, though. We had 5-2-1. They stayed alive until the end. Amongst all of that chaos, the fight that's going to take place just to the south, right here. Here we have it. 5-2-1 Alliance and WBG. Who's getting the Soul Blooms? Oh, not Soul Blooms, the Fireflies. Who's getting them? It doesn't look as though any of these teams have actually gotten a full ultimate just yet. We got a parry coming through. Oh my goodness, and 5-2-1 immediately exploded off the rip. NY7 losing all of that armor. Revenge sending out those fan RMBs, trying to find something. The F1 from the Decatur is going to come through with the Dazzle. Revenge is going to lose his weapon for the moment, but he has another one in the back pocket. Jing goes down as well. It looks as though it might be all up for Alliance right now. They've got 2 eliminations already. Tamok coming in with that ultimate, throwing out the Sand Wisp, not able to find it, unfortunately. Revenge getting shot out of the sky by the Syra cousin. He's not able to get away. The RMB, oh my goodness, it's just great. God. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about, TA. The ugliness coming through.
That was just an insane sequence. And I'm looking at the leaderboard. You were thinking about GG. You see them with 96.7, thinking they were comfortable. Yeah. So this is very close. DRG could potentially knock him down to that 10th place, but OUG right now currently in the mix. Continue the momentum here into game number 5, taking out WBG, Leo, OUG now. I believe this is their second elimination of this game alone thus far. Still starting up with common armors, everybody across the board here for the squad. SS possibly doesn't even have any powder or shield yet. Alliance trying to back on up. They did manage to secure 2 eliminations earlier here from these off-drop fights. 5-2-1 falls. It looks like they do manage to get resurrection already into play. There goes the Syra being able to resurrect. Bauda, though, still trying to scale on up. And look at the points right now. TE, 76.2. YZG as well, 76.6. TE with 76.2. 5-2-1, 73. And Bauda with 71.5. So now YZG trying to close out that distance there to keep climbing up here in the leaderboard. And this is them already getting active this one around, already forcing out this Monk against OA. We had the Fairy already invested there for YZG, applying tons of damage there onto the Monk. PB in the back end is going to eat up some of the damage. The Keelan ultimate trying to use there to peel off the pressure there from YZG. Now the Syra ultimate is going to call in here for TXJ. That's going to be a lot of damage into the Dazzle there onto OA's Keelan. And he's going to be able to eat up a lot of damage here in this situation. There goes the remaining damage. Big parry there happening. Still up here for the time being. We do have him trying to kite it out, but just a matter of moments. It's going to be a musket shot finisher there for YZG, and that's going to be YZG's third elimination of game number 4 or 5.
Nice. Good to see for them. Overtaking TE as well. TE currently on 0 eliminations, not having found anything just yet. 5-2-1 also in a similar situation. They were on the front foot just now. They had the advantage in that fight, but the Wu Chen ult coming in and saving that team. I didn't catch who exactly it was, but it was one of the Viper clans, one of the Attack on Titans. Speaking of, WZ coming in and just assassinated NHQ, who goes down without his teammates, not able to disengage the max range Tessa ultimate, cutting him down, charming him over. And now TE moving over to the northeast of the map. Youth, along with the rest of TE, trying to chase down 5-2-1. The F2 comes through. Pampy, 1 HP already, just getting absolutely exploded. Youth with the purple nunchucks coming in, just doing work. And it looks as though they immediately disengage, recognizing the third party coming in. The timing attack. WBG see this fight, and they try and come in and find the opportunity. And now 5-2-1 hiding. Iben quietly sitting there. Yeron is literally in there. No! He walked past him and then turns around like, oh, there's a Tamok. Hey. Hello there. Hello. Just oh, that's such a shame. Ivan almost getting away with murder, but no, not to be. He's trying his best. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Settle down. Settle down, buddy. Aizen goes to the Spirit Realm to rejoin his teammates, and WBG pick up their second elimination.
And this is very bad for 521. I believe they don't have a soul form. I think they died early on. So the Syra has a big high task right now to try to get at least one of their teammates back up here for the situation. And this is not how you want to start this very important game 5 for themselves, with being so close into that top 12. You do not want to be getting taken out very early like 521 just did. But I mean, it's still salvageable. It's going to be a very high task here for the Syra, but it is doable. But now we do have OUG with 2 on the board, JL with 3, Alliance as well with 2, YZG with 3, TE with 1. The distance is going to be getting a lot higher. And I mean, I was trying to do the math, and yeah, GG could potentially not even make it into the top 12, depending of how this game goes. Yeah, it can be very close. I'm looking at the numbers there from DRG. Still no eliminations on the board thus far for DRG, but potentially 3-4 racks them up close to 90, and even going into game number 6 with another 3-4 kills, they could potentially knock out GG. So it's nobody in the 9 to below is safe this far. I mean, even OA needs to try to pick up some of these eliminations. We do see Alliance once again having a really good start this far for game number 5 with their amazing performance of game number 4, from being able to control all the tempo there from that end circle that we saw. But now 521's Pampy gets caught up, and this is bad for them. 521's Pampy needs to try to stay up in the situation, but all ults invested. The kid ultimate called in the backside there for Pampy, but it's not going to matter here in the situation. Just 1v3, and 521 is going to be able to get eliminated. Comes on in. Wait, Resurrection comes in here for 521, and I think Yin is going to come in high here with the Syra ultimate. They're going to be able to get some sorts of pressure ice off there from one of the remaining members of 521, and there it is. Yin eating up a lot of damage to the backside. This could be bad for them. To the F2 that wasn't even needed there for the Zai. And now 521 is going to drop 2 players once again. Only the Temi is up there for 521. YZG, TE with 3 apiece now for that top 12. JL waiting for that perfect opportunity. We're going to have our first Romo Yang pretty soon. We do have YZG picking up that Valiant Challenge, want to make their presence known on the map. They're trying to secure more eliminations if possible, possibly with that cannonball comp that they're playing. Have been doing a really good job thus far here with this composition into this game number 5, being able to secure those eliminations currently. Alliance still in the mix, 2 on the board. Siphon comp, very strong, especially off rip. Purple armor already on the side, scaled up, ready for this first Romo Yang of game number 5. Looking to start rotating on in here from the outskirts of Celestia, possibly moving on in towards WBG, who is already posted up in that Romo Yang. Alliance, as we see in the minimap, center right there from that round. We do have Bauda top left, being able to get that Romo Yang gate. YZG as well, starting to move on in. OA potentially contesting YZG. I'm looking for the Spirit Well, but I do not see it on my map, so I'm not sure who. Oh, JL top right are looking to get that Mystic Might there from that Spirit Well.
Look at 521. 521, they got the res. Let's go. In the top right.
No way.
The clutch res. They're coming back. They needed that. They're coming back with a vengeance.
They needed that. They needed that.
They did. They really did. It's not over yet. 521 are still in it. They need to get that final rebirth, their 3rd member, but it's doable. It's winnable, chat. We got this. Come on. It would be so hype if we saw them make it here, having had such a good performance early on as well, getting multiple double-digit games. Absolutely huge performance from them. But we're diving into the realm of Yang, ladies and gentlemen. Bauda up against WBG. Jing dropping down with that fan, trying to find the opening onto ZZZT, but immediately getting peeled off by the Syra, knocked down, trying to get back up again. The Tumult Whisk comes through. The Tumult ultimate as well. Sleepy T finds the parry. Beautifully done. Not able to get the full follow-up, unfortunately, onto Leo. Leo now trying to stand strong, gets dazzled in the mix. ZZZT, the Takeda ultimates have not been popped just yet, but as I say that, here they are. The triggers have been pulled, the gun has fired, and Sleepy T now looking for this fan, gets the shove onto all three of those members, I believe, are trying to chase this down. The scale rush comes through, the drop down into the R&B finds the elimination, but the parry coming through from Leo, massive parry for his team, might be able to clutch the situation, but Sleepy T, he's pretty low. Will he find a heal up? But no, the Dazzle, wait a minute. No, walk back into it. He's got one more Fury Blast, jumping into the air, using that F1, but the fan flank comes through, and there it is. Bowder gonna be able to close it out and get that Realm of Yang win, secure that Vermilion Birds might. On the outside, DRG picking up that Spirit Well, getting themselves the Mystic Might. We've still got a fight going on between OA and YZG, but if OUG won their Realm of Yang against Alliance as well. It's so close, yeah. It's so close.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This win here from Bauta is massive for them. Picking up those 3 eliminations plus the buff.
Oh, no,
to be able to scale off of
again.
this TE. 521 getting caught up once again this time around against TE. Used now on the Zai. Being able to force out that Syra ultimate there for 521. YZG snags elimination onto OAs, I believe still in the realm. But 521 against TE. This could be bad. Yin trying to kite out the situation. The Dazzle staggers one player, the Matari in the backside, but the damage comes to play here. Peak with massive damage onto Yin. The Syra falls once again, and this is so unfortunate here for 521, not being able to scale up and find a day that they needed here for this game 5. It's just super unfortunate for them not being able to stay up. I mean, this is like the 3rd time they dropped
double bountied as well. They got double bountied. So that bounty, so they had a bounty on them before when they lost in that sort of 2 versus 3 situation. The bounty gets cleansed obviously because they go down, and then they find one res, and now the other one's looking to go and get the rebirth charm, and then another bounty comes through. Like literally the most unlucky sequence of events. It's just what more can you say? Just okay, GG's, I guess. What do I do? What? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But I think they got the rebirth though. They got the rebirth on one of them, thankfully.
Again?
Yeah, they got the res again. They're not going down without a fight.
That is insane. OUG against Bauta. This is a big scrap up here, but Bauta needs to try to snag up this eliminations onto OUG, but OUG has been on fire, but it doesn't even matter. ZZZT there, an elimination onto SS, and now Bauta making Baby U very weak there on the backside. The Temi there for OUG, eating up tons of damage. Zenyu trying to stay up. WBG starts to move on in. Bauta with a second elimination onto OUG. And now Zenyu is going to eat up tons of damage, but it's going to be WBGG Ryan here with the elimination onto Zenyu. And now the Syra ultimate is going to be called in here for WBG. And the backside Alliance start moving on in. It's going to be the Temi ultimate invested on the backside. Got to be real careful. And this is a very dangerous area to fight with all these poisons in the back end. You see them all being up here. And a lot of these players are going to start taking that tick damage there for themselves. Now Bauta now gets caught up off of the Dazzle off the 2. Big parry there from Jing. Does not look like that's elimination. Jing gets Dazzle off of that into the Witch as well. That's a crazy combo. Jing falls there into YZG. YZG runs it right back. Alliance starts falling back now in the situation, but Bauta snags up now 6 kills on the board. Still in the middle of the mix. They have the Vermilion's Birds Might, so they're going to be staying safe. They can't get active, but YZG not being afraid of this, start coming right back, and they're going to snag up 3 cleanups here off of this situation, and now they're going to be up to 9 kills here for game number 5, and what a beautiful showcase here from YZG. Not afraid of anything. Coming right back into the scrap house. They are not afraid, and they paid off beautifully for them. We see them here. They are going to be shooting up some of these poisons to make sure they are not getting interacted with later on in the situation. So he's going to go ahead and get some of that back. But we're going to take a quick little reset, or we're going to take a quick little look at the first Realm of Yang here from OUG against Alliance, and this was a big fight. OUG's Monk already forms on in. Alliance is trying to kite out, trying to use the pillars for coverage here against this Monk, but trying to see if he can find an opening here for one of these grabs. Yuma gets grabbed there in the backside to the Keelan as well. There's tons of damage here. The Syra ultimate there from Revenge is trying to ice out some of the pressure here from the Monk, and I'm starting to see that some the Monks don't really look at the Syra, but sometimes they just turn onto them and get a free grab off of them. And there it is. Azai gets caught up in the backside. It's gonna be lots of damage. Revenge now trying to stay up. He is gonna be still in the mix, but gets caught up once again, and now in the 1v3 is Zenyu just winning this out. He's like, all right, let's clean up, and they managed to do so. And OUG still outside the realm, cleaning up wolves. I mean, they're not letting go to this gas pedal, and potentially taking the MVP for game number 5 as well.
It's looking good for them right now. But I will say, they do need to get a few more kills if they hope to catch up to YZG. They're just absolutely dominating right now. 10 eliminations, I believe. 10 or 9. They're just cooking. But unfortunately, look at this. WZ also cooking up OA. OA falls right now. Thankfully for them, this is not a make or break situation, as they are pretty comfortably on 109 points total, sitting in the middle of the pack of the top 12. But as we were talking about earlier, GG at 96.7, DRG on 90.8, YZG on 86.1. This could actually be the scenario where GG falls out of qualification, especially if Bowder starts leveling up, if 521 manages to salvage their game completely after having had the most unlucky early game possible. Like, what the double bounty what am I doing? Let me go, man. Look at that. There it is. Look, there it is. They're coming back. The rebirth charm, ladies and gentlemen, off of the spirit well, and they get Draco Storm. The dream is alive. The underdog story is continuing, but here we are going into the realm of Yang. YZG up against Bowder. QGG up in the sky. Golden armor. Justina gonna be dropping down, trying to find a stagger onto Sleepy T. Doesn't find it. The Tumulk ultimate does go down on top of this Farrier. TXJ in that Syra ultimate, looking to create some opportunities. Try and find these dazzled, but he's immediately being answered by Bowder XEM, who's also on that Syra. The huge parry coming through onto QGG. Not that much damage to follow up, as he does have that combo breaker F, but he's holding onto this ultimate, trying to bide his time, and there it is, pulls the trigger. Can we see it? The Billy Justina about to unleash. Cue up the montage music. Sleepy T, there it is, boom. Does find the freeze. No huge follow-up, but not, at least not from him. His teammates take full advantage of the situation. 2 Furin Blasts still in the back pocket, dashing through, going to the sky, looking to drop down, but immediately staggered out. The ultimate is over. We do find the scale rush opening into the freeze. It's not looking good for Bowder right now. YZG looking to cook. QGG tries to find the parry. It's over. It's the 3v1. It's not BM. It's just optimal. We extending that buff duration, ladies and gentlemen. And look at here. We've got 521 on the outside, ramping up C8. Are we seeing it? I hope so, because that would be an amazing day.
Yeah, I mean, all they have to do is get a little bit more scaled up, right? They've had a very rough spot thus far in this game alone. But I mean, we've seen how well they do in the end game. If they're able to make it into that end game here for game number 5, 17 players are still up. They just need to secure those eliminations. They've had a rough start thus far, but it is possible, and I would not be surprised at 521, with the way they've been playing throughout the whole night, being able to snag up some of those kills in the end game. It's just a matter of how well they play this remainder of this game. They do have that Draco Storm up for 64 seconds, but OUG and YZG have it for double that duration, so they just had to make sure they live out these buffs and potentially even contest that next Spirit Well coming up. But we're gonna have to wait and see how 521 deals with the situation. Yang depletion timer here for these teams who have fallen in the realm. TE, that was a massive scrap off there between both of those teams. TE still in this situation, still in this game, trying to see if they can find a perfect opportunity to resurrect. But Bowder and YZG in our realm was insane as well. These two teams are very close to each other. TE and Bowder, look at the point differences. Both of those teams have the aim depletion timer. This could be the perfect opportunity here for 521 to snag up some of these eliminations, because 13 and 12 need to get active pretty soon. So it's just going to be a matter of time. Just got to make sure OUG doesn't see you and get third party off of that alone, or potentially fourth party. But this was the Realm of Yang here for OUG against TE. Monk opener here for Zenyu. Tries to go for a grab, doesn't find one just yet. does manage to get a Gooba Stomp into doesn't get the grab this time around. Still trying to look for a grab, doing the best as he can. Youth in the backside there on the Zai ult, just waiting to pop that ultimate. Zenyu not being able to find the best value, gets the grab off the Youth this time around. Tries to go for the double grab, but there goes the slam into the Keelan ultimate as well for the extra damage. Doesn't get the second grab this time around. The tap dodges here from you to avoid those falling grabs there from Zenyu, and now he is going to be forced to start moving on in here. Full weapon in, no ult online. He does manage to eliminate Youth off of that, but that's going to be Baby You with the musket shot there. PK caught up there off the Dragon Slayer, fall up there from the spear. Now 1-2 Xiaonan does manage to get some sorts of damage, but it's not a lot in the backside jump parry there for Zenyu with a massive elimination onto Peak, and now in a 1v3 winning this out. The Batari there for TE is just in a bad situation, and now outside the realm of Yang, about to get inactive against TE.
The transition's so crazy.
That was insane, right? Just back to back here, full action. TE used eating up a lot of damage. Has that Zai ultimate online. The Batari ultimate is being called in here for TE. Now Star ult is going to be beating up a lot of damage there onto ZZZT. Now TE with one man advantage is going to be able to potentially turn this fight around. Big parry from Peak now onto Zem, and now another third party moving on in DRG, and it's just chaos right now. 5-1 Pampy here with the opener. They are going to be get this elimination onto one of those players, and this is what 5-1 needed, was his perfect opportunity, and Peak one shot as well. And this is what I was saying. This is the best scenario here for 521 to try to get these eliminations. As you see it now with 2, potentially 3 here in the zone. Bottom falling here, and this is the team that is 1 ranking above them. Zen very low. Pampy needs to start moving on into the zone. The zone's going to be taking a lot of damage pretty soon. We do have now DRG star move on in. You got to be careful to try to make it to the Zen circle. Pampy the only one with purple armor, not even fully healed right now. OUG, they are starting to look to try to take the overcome situation here with 9 on the board. DRG with 8, YZG with 14 already. Moving on into this end circle. Youth falls there from DRG. Full reset. Looks like it's calmed down here for OUG. Not full W King 521. And 521 rotates fully in. And it looks like they do come out victorious in that situation with a little bit more resources. But YZG already posted up here for the Spirit Well. And it's going to be White Tiger's power for this one.
It is indeed. YZG could potentially catapult themselves into just a situation where no one can surpass them here if they get an enormous game. Already on 14, if they get another 5 or 6 eliminations moving into this end game, they are going to be set. They don't have to worry, but GG certainly does. As you said before, 5-1, they were eliminating Bowder, and Bowder, that team that is 1 above them at the moment. Picking up those 2 eliminations, absolutely huge for themselves. Now picking up a little bit of money, 5-1 going to be going over to that Rift dealer, going to be buying some armors, perhaps be able to salvage the game fully. YZG still waiting to pick up this Spirit Well buff, still holding off on it. No need to jump in just yet. Oh, there it is. Actually, okay, all right, I see how it is. He jumps right on in as soon as I say it. And speaking of jumping in, TXJ trying to jump XEM, who's the last remaining member of Bowder with Yang depletion, no less, and he goes down to said Yang depletion. YZG trying to jump in and see if they can get the elimination for themselves, but unfortunately not able to close the distance in time, and there it is. But YZG, they have the full agency to dictate the tempo of this end zone. 17 players left alive. That means that there is going to be a team that has less than 3 at the moment. We don't have the scoreboard up just yet. 5-1 now on the outskirts, slowly following behind the YZG here, potentially looking to third party the situation or pick up some eliminations that YZG will be very happy to commit to get. OUG biding their time at waiting for the moment. Everyone recognizes the threat of not only the White Tigers prowess team, but also the fact that we have the Moonbane, the 80% Moonbane coming in very, very soon.
Yeah, and these teams are going to be playing the outskirts of that Moonbane. Oh man, YZG, White Tigers Power haven't been getting very aggressive off it. They're going to be waiting for that from that last Spirit Well to start moving on in to try to potentially capture it for themselves. WZ though I feel like WZ's been that nuisance team, right? They're on the bottom of the pyramid right now, but they're getting those crucial eliminations onto these teams who need to get that good off drop fights. But WZ has just been that wall to stop those teams from scaling up time and time again throughout the night. So seeing them in the bottom and not being able to get those great pop-off games, it's just sad to see thus far. But still, in this game 5, have been able to make into this end circle, could potentially pick up some more eliminations. And I mean, 521, right, with just crazy RNG, not being able to scale up early in the mid game, coming back 3 to 4 times. It's just an insane sequence seeing them here coming in with the perfect third party there. They're playing the right hand side of this end circle. 28 seconds for it to start moving on in. The next buff is going to be that Spirit Well. We see YZG looking to contest that. They are going to be the first potential team to start filling up that Spirit Well meter, but fully kitted out. This is a very dangerous sight if you're any of the other teams. Seeing gold armors on the field by 3 players of YZG, gold weapons, everything ready online for YZG. Crazy game here for them thus far. Have been doing very, very well throughout the whole night, trying to rack up more points into this bi-weekly day 3. We see them now. QGG gonna wait this out on this cannonball comp that, you know, Aurora Burst drop down, beautiful, catches 2 as well. It doesn't fully silence throughout the whole duration, but still good damage there from QGG. He's gonna be able to control most of the Spirit Well off of that Jade alone, and I think that's Phoenix Blast as well there for the longsword. So these players are fully getting out Jade's armor and weapons. We see him now. He's going to go ahead and contest in this area, make sure nobody tries to get close, and this is going to be very dangerous for the remainder of the team. One of these squads from OUG, no, I don't know who popped this Temi ultimate. Some squad did. OUG ices off the pressure for now. YZG now has that Draco Storm. Rebirth from Peak here. In this situation, being able to get the resurrection onto one of their teammates is insane here for TE. That looks like Cookie is going to fall in this situation. YZG with a quick one inside the zone. Very online here for YZG on this comp, and this comp has not been having a lot of success throughout the whole night until now in YZG's hands, being able to pick up an enormous amount of eliminations. 15 on the board currently for YZG. OUG starting to try to kite out some of the pressure, I believe, from YZG. YZG is gonna be able to stay up on the left hand side of the map. Lots of these teams playing that top hand side of the map as well. TE, WZ, DRG, OUG, everybody posted up, and we see 521 playing that lone side there by themselves. Silence here from WZ's Viper.
Oh, no.
Lots about the Don Q. Lots of cannon shot flies on in, and it's Yin. Yin with a mass elimination here. They're gonna be able to scrap up all this resources here from this dead body, and this is what 521 needs. I've been potentially picking up that armor as well from that player, and 521 now with 2 purple armors, tons of loot as well, making their bounce back into this game. A beautiful showcasing there from the Southeast Asian team. 521 now YZG in this Feria are gonna wait this out. The ults are offline now for YZG, so the Draco Storm with 83 seconds and counting. The pressure could potentially stop here after that Feria is gone. It looks like Peak might be getting a little bit of damage there from TE side. He is gonna be able to kite this out. The Matar ultimate is gonna be invested for him as well there from TE, and they're gonna be able to ice out the pressure. The bow shots I believe don't connect. Cannon shots flying on in there from TXJ. TXJ now is gonna be able to play a little bit of more conservative side now for the zone. And oh my God, Duncan, I can't believe 521 has been doing this.
They're still in it, big dog. We're still in it. We got this. This is make or break time right now. And we see TE as well falling out right now. The peak does go down. We do have 1 remaining member left alive for TE. And they are currently sitting in that 12th place position. They are the team to beat for 521. They need to get a few, there's a few more kills. Get 5 kills under your belt. That's solid. You could very easily come away with qualification by the end, because this is only game number 5. We have game number 6 coming up after this, of course. TXJ diving in with that Phoenix Blast. We're going to try and find something, but oh my goodness, as we're saying it, 521 Bambi gets caught by the Aurora Burst, unable to do anything, getting caught up, juggled, and taken down, sent into the zone. Ibin now coming over, potentially looking for this resurrection. We don't know if they're going to be able to do so. Ibin with that Tamok ultimate, forced to drop it down, being pressured by this Tessa ultimate, sending out that overhold onto Dongxing, finding the uppercut. The Stoneform comes through. Oh, Oh my goodness, TE Xiaonan as well is also in the mix, dashing up into the sky, trying to disengage. OUG now being the target of YZG. TXJ in this Farrier Meg, going to be dropping down. Jin Yu now in that monk form, looking for these grabs, going to try and find something. Perhaps he's going to be able to de-mech this Farrier, but it's not going to be easy. 521 still has 2 members left on the board, still left alive, ready to go. They do have the Syra as well. A huge win condition here, but as I say that, Ibin goes down, having been caught in the middle of everything. There's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to kite, there's no rocks, no nothing. There's a tiny little fence and a bit of a tree. You don't have anywhere to go, buddy. Jin Yu also getting caught up by this Tesla Ultimate, being forced into the zone. OUG getting cooked here. It looks as though there's no players, but there's actually 10 alive right now. They're all in the sky. Baby Yu does have ultimate. Is he going to be able to use it? Getting pushed back into the zone. The freeze comes through. The damage from the zone might be enough to take him down, but no, he dashes back in. TXJ coming in, having come out of that ultimate. The Kylin with the revenge, the vengeance, slashing and dashing his way back into the zone. TXJ getting caught by the Tessa ultimate as well. CXZ trying to hold strong. QGG in the middle of the zone. DRG at the top of this little hut. Oh my goodness. Where's 521? Are they even alive? Syra still on the board. Might be in the sky. The Viper ultimate as well. DRG in the mix. QGG comes out of the ultimate. There's a Wu Chen ult as well, but it's not going to get used, I don't think. DRG still alive. Kakaishi coming away. They come away with the first place finish, but who's getting that MVP? I think it's YZGC8. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, wow, just a beautiful game there from YZG. I mean, so hard to try to ice off any sorts of pressure there from YZG with no DRG with the winner's MVP.
Hey, really?
How many eliminations did DRG secure there? They were eliminating YZG of day 3 here for the Naraka Bladepoint Pro League. I mean,
we got the split screen.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Hey, you know this. You know it's serious when we got the split screen, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 6. Let's get it. Bowder off the rip, fighting it out against 521 as well. This is the fight. Oh. This could actually dictate the result of today, of who qualifies. It looks as though they're trying to space it out for the moment. OUG taking down 2 members of YZG in the kill feed. Nothing happening just yet for Bowder and 521. It looks as though they're taking a step back, recognizing that this is potentially a little too oogly. You know, you don't want to get a little bit too crazy early on. There are a couple Fireflies close by as well that they might try and quickly rotate over to secure. But look at this. We've got JL and Wolves scrapping it out here. Neither of these teams are in danger of missing out on qualification. Beautiful parry coming there. But the F coming out from One Fang. Going to keep him safe, but not for long. They're coming in with the staffs. The staff gaming the bonk stick to the face. There it is. He does get eliminated. Now heading on over to Skygaze Cove. We might see the fight finally ensue. CA, this is spicy. Let's call it, Big Dog. Let's get
I mean, I'm looking at GG, right? GG still in 10th place spot, but YZG with 96.1. They can quickly overtake and throw GG to 11th place. So this is bad for GG as well. TE still trying to move on in as well as 521, but a scraps off here from 521 and Bada. This is a massive fight off drop here for both of these teams. 521's Pampy trying to look for an opener. The silence connects there onto Ivan. Jing eats up a lot of damage as we see. The Syra trying to make sure they can get some peel there for the teammates. The Dazzle there onto Pappy. Man, there from Fat Milk onto Jing in the back end. And that was insane there from Fat Milk. And now Bauda trying to respond off of that. Senso 1.0 and the final hits there. And 521 with the eliminations here onto Bauda. And this is a great start here for 521. Picking up 3 on the board. Bauda now forced to go into the Soul Altar, trying to get a better spot to drop. But 521 being able to do it here. And now this is where it starts getting a lot more tricky here for Bauda. We do see them looking for a place to try to get a resurrection. YZG as well did have a resurrection area as well. No more reses left here for YZG. So, I mean, 96.1 potentially. I mean, anything can happen, right? I mean, this could be... Yes, this could be very close. We thought YZG was in, but this is not safe for YZG thus far as well.
Yeah, no, you're right about that one. If by chance 521 and TE absolutely cook this game and YZG goes out, it's actually possible, but only time will tell. I'm excited. Let's get it. WZ rotating around in Imperium. Unfortunately, as I said before, they are on 65 currently. They would need an absolute miracle, pulling something out of a hat to make this happen. But we have seen 30-point games happen before. You know, it's not impossible, but they are gonna have to just go crazy. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. For the moment, we're taking a look at a fight between OA and WBG. A huge parry, and it hits 2 as well. Jing jumps in. Get down, buddy. But no, they both get hit, both taking full damage from that parry, but they may be able to salvage it. OA are being forced to disengage the teleport to get out of there. 2-tick having gone down. WBG trying to chase it now. The nerf to Wu Chen, giving them the beacon of light in the sky to tell them exactly where they went, is going to allow them to chase them down. And now moving over to Alliance up against the DRG, the MVPs of our previous game, taking down Yuma. The Matari ult coming through to protect from the Viper ult, and we see the Wu Chen ult come in yet again.
Yeah, this is what DRG needs. They need to win these fights. Currently with 1 on the board, Yuma falls. The other player goes inside the plant there. I'd see him being able to break the ankles. He thought you were going to catch me. He just gives it and hides. But the Takeda 4 alliances did not have the same luck as that. And DRG is going to snag up their second elimination here for game number 6. TE in the mix. This time around against Wolves. JL starting to move on in as well. Youth, I believe the only one in this area here for TE on the kill, and uses the F to back up some of the pressure here from Wolves. Wolves though still the full WQ in. There goes elimination there for Wolves. DRG takes up an elimination onto the last remaining member of Alliance as well. So 3 players from Alliance are going to fall. They do have 3 kills currently here. DRG as well with 3, but Wolves with 6. OUG with 3. 521 with 3. And TE has to play this conservative. I didn't really look at the resurrections. Not sure if they have one currently here, or they have another resurrection for this game. This needs to be a very perfectly played out situation here for TE. Still very close to get overcome there by 521. We do see Peak being able to hide in that bush. You don't see me, you can't kill me. Does manage to break the ankles. So he's gonna stay up. JL drops down here in this ravine. They are gonna be able to get a little bit of a challenge there from the quest to be able to use the emote there and get a little bit some of the J's from that drop alone. Baby you here from OUG. Seeing that they can find more kills. I mean, the way OUG's been playing, that is the last team you want to be running into right now. Have been having a phenomenal night thus far. Bottle though in the mix. No reses once again on the Zycom. Seeing they can find some sorts of regression. First round coming up really soon. Looks like that's a bounty onto one of their players. They're arguably having, that's a Valiant challenge there from JL. Wants to get some of their attention, throw their way. Currently in 4th place. No eliminations here for game 6, but 521. 2 purple armors already here for 521. Scaling up completely different than they did for game number 5 here at Predoria. So now looking to potentially get some sorts of damages outside of the Roma Yang, potentially contest the Spirit Well or capture the Spirit Well, not going really inside the realm for those fights with just how hard it is to do so on the AOTs. But they might be running into YZG. YZG is going to be able to back up now. Fat Melt opening up with the pistol shot there onto TXJ. TXJ is going to use the Mercury River to potentially run in 521 until the other 2 members from YZG. DRG's take out Yuma once again in the kill feed. So that's another one on the board there for DRG. That's 4. YZG is going to back on up. Now it looks like that might be the Roma Yang in the backside. 521 is going to go ahead and just back on up for the situation. But YZG still seeing it can find a squad. DRG in the mix, and this could be bad, and the fight might unfold. No, just running past each other. They are still not going to go ahead and take this aggression right now. The random bane spawns on in. Bada still in the mix, full blue armored out here for Bada, currently with 0 kills, 78 point currently for Bada, super close to 521, but I mean, it's going to come down to this Roma Yang here, Duncan. This is going to be an insane. I want to see a 521 versus TE realm. That will be insane to watch.
That would be insane. But I think TE still, you know, I was when we saw that Highland go down, I think they're still in the recovery state, which is inherently going to just slow them down immensely. It's really, really bad because they're going to miss out on this realm of Yang. And we've talked about it loads of times. You know, scaling is so important for Tianhai and for that Kailin. The Tamulk, not so much, but I mean, even then, Tamulk, anyone can benefit from a good armor and good weaponry, and having that buff as well to potentially give themselves the agency to just run down a team with that Vermilion Burst. Oh, wait a sec! What? Did you see that? Bowder literally. Hey, they didn't press E fast enough. You gotta be mashing that one, buddy. Oh my goodness. And 5-2-1 obviously didn't go in because they're running that attack on Titan. But hey, YZG, they certainly did alongside OUG. This is the scrap. These are the two heavy hitters so far today. TXJ immediately being closed the distance on and now popping that Monk ultimate. Gonna be trying to find some of these grabs. Looking to see if he can catch one around the pillar. But this breaking of line of sight is doing so much work to counteract this Monk's pressure. We've got the Sire ultimate now coming out for the opposing side, for OUG. TXJ just wandering around trying to find something. He still has one jump to go. He could send it. He's not got all that much time to work with just yet. He's just sending them all out. Baby U narrowly avoiding that grab. The trap dodge comes through and now immediately engaging onto them. OUG are going to try and find something. The grab comes through. The RKO. UGG gets slammed into the ultimate and now immediately eliminated. OUG dismantling YZG. The 2-1-1 comes through, beautifully done into the follow-up with the Furin Blast, into the jump parry, doesn't find it. TXJ immediately getting caught by the Furin Blast yet again into that horizontal focus, and that's all she wrote. OUG cooking them up. YZG ready to serve. Delicious from OUG.
See them just smiling there out that fight, having fun, playing beautifully.
That's what you want.
Yeah. I mean, you see it paid off here for them. They are going to get that Vermilion's Burst Might. 521 does manage to get that Spirit Well there from getting that White Tiger's power from the Spirit Well. And it looks like TE did get a resurrection as well. So 3 players still up for TE. 521 still in the mix. WZ, one of these players has Volpine. So I don't remember who it was. Potentially Cookie, I think. But Xiao Yu, even tons of damage here on the Takeda. Is going to be forced to pop this Furin ultimate. He is going to be able to get some sorts of staggers in the back end. But the Dazzle connects there onto the Takeda, and it's just so much damage there against WZ. And now Baby U countering that with all of his own. Jump LB for some extra damage. Pot come in, but it doesn't even matter. The Sire ultimate is just being big nuisance there on the top side. You see Xiao Yu trying to respond with a parry himself, but the Furin to stop damage there from Baby U onto WZ. The second shot back this time around from WZ gets caught up in the Wisp. Tons of damage. Cannon shots flying on in. I don't see any third-party potential, so this is an isolated fight between both of these teams. Baby U falls. Vermilion's Burst might come to play there for one of those teams. What a parry for Cookie, and now the Siren's gonna fall in that situation in the 1v3. WZ coming in hot here with 5 on the board. WBG, YZG, and JL have that Yang depletion timer, and JL and YZG are both going at it right now. Both of these teams need to cleanse. The knockback here from the Takeda Ab, Spitter gets some sorts of damage. Massive barrier there from One Fong onto TXJ. TXJ is gonna be forced to monk on up here to max this Temi ultimate. We see him now trying to find an opener here for his team. Ferns are out there for the opposing squad as well. YZG is going to be eating up a lot of damage here off the Sour. We see them trying to play inside the Tumult ultimate. TXJ has not been able to find any grabs yet, but OA is going to get a resurrection as well. Now, who's going to be able to come up on top? They're going to wait for this ult to go on down. You see JL perfectly positioning now to get ready to drop right back here into this fight. You do see this Monk now demonking. Now, there it is. JL is going to start moving on in from 2 directions in this situation. No ults left here for YZGs, and now this could be bad. The drop down there off the pole, so he's gonna be able to eat up a lot of damage there onto TXJ. TXJ now trying to respond here in the situation. The F caught in there from the Temi. The Wisp does not connect though. CXC is trying to stay up. Does manage to go right back inside the zone, but these players on the bottom of the terrain here applying lots of pressure. Jump period from CXC onto One Fong. One Fong is gonna eat up a lot of damage off of that alone, but no follow-up, and it looks like no kills have happened yet. TXJ pairs Cuckoo in the back end now. Triple charge there from the pole sword. CXC there with elimination off the fan as well. Now on a 2v3, YZG turning this fight around. One Fong drops very low. The Temi F caught in once again. The Wisp connects onto the Zipping until the enemy focus off the dagger. And now a 1v3. YZG clearing up JL there. And that's a beautiful showcasing there from YZG.
It really was. Oh my goodness. I've said it time and time again. Yang depletion is killer. If you get caught with Yang depletion and you just can't find the recovery, at the very least, it's very, very hard to find that recovery just because of how things have evolved over time. But you know what else is going to be very, very hard? It's 5-1 right here. They lost 2 members. Recovering from this is going to be even more difficult as well. 1 person left alive. We do potentially get this resurrection, but I think they do have quite a ways to go to get into that safe zone. As you can see, that purple bar underneath the map on the right-hand side of the screen is... You can see the little man running. That's where they are. So it's quite a long way for them to get into this safe zone. It is possible, though. It is only that Storm 2. Ibin fully healed up. Pampy desperately trying. He's only got 1 grapple left to go. Can he make it in with this one? The F to min max. Beautifully done. There it is. Okay, it's not over. Fat Milk is going to get rezzed up potentially here if they're able to get enough money to buy that Rebirth Charm. And speaking of Rebirth Charms, we get 2 being bought up here. Yuran and WX98 are going to be able to buy these rebirths for their teammates. And WBG also going to be picking up a bounty onto WZ. But then Leo immediately died. Wait, is WBG... Did they pick up the bounty just before they died?
I think
really
so.
Sure what happened there? Maybe. Get rid of the bounty? Perhaps, yeah. I mean, it's possible that one of them is still alive. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
WBG still have they still picked up the bounty. They have that rebirth charm, of course. Yeah. But oh my goodness, what a game we have, CA. TE, 0 kills. They need something, otherwise they have no chance. It looks as though we're consolidating onto this spirit well here, and we've got Realms of Yang popping up as well. YZG having jumped in, they're going to be going in for that one. Xiaonan. Oh no. Oh, the grab! Beautifully done! Does he get the slam? Do we get the follow-up? The slam comes through. No Kylan ultimate, though. This is going to be really hard to hold on to. They're looking for the disengage. I think that's probably the smart decision here.
Yeah, they don't want to get eliminated here. They invested that Monk ultimate very quickly there. Didn't really play out due to that Tesla enchantment, catching 2 players there for themselves. And are forced to back on up here from the situation. 5-21 though, still in the mix. We saw them getting number 5. How many times they came back from the dead just with 1 player alive, and now they do manage to get the 3rd player back up here for game number 6. YZG though against WZ. YZG looking to find another opening here for themselves for this game. WZ as well. Oh, all right. Let's see it. Cookie with the staff in hand, trying to see if he can find an opening here for the squad. He's going to be able to apply tons of pressure from mid to long range here off of the shade alone. There goes the F called in from CXZ. Massive parry happening there from Luaye on the bottom side to QGG. Another parry. No grabs yet, I believe, there from TXJ. Doesn't manage to catch up Cookie now with the Temi ultimate online. To be able to get the slam down. The F called in there to avoid the full damage there from this Monk ult grab. He does manage to get stuck on the side here. Does not get any sorts of value yet this far off of the grab. Now, this could be the perfect opportunity here for the Monk TXJ to try to find another grab. That's kind of shove now. Get caught up there off of that. Oh, trying to look for the second repeated crossbow shots starting to fly on in, but the D-Monk doesn't get the damage off of that. And now the Takeda back in the mix does manage to get some sorts of siphon back off of that ult there. We do see CXZ now popping that Keelan ultimate, Cookie on the Sara ultimate. Xiao Yu drops very low in the back end, and I think that was some sorts of sustain there. He did drop 0 HP. He is going to get that health right back. Xiao Ye now trying to stay alive, but he's getting full juggled here. Cookie getting caught up there by the Keelan ultimate. That was a double person hit there off of that Keelan ult alone. Now the scare rush on the bottom side. CXC now trying to drop down off the R&B from the staff. Cookie now probably to potentially in an isolated fight. No, he's Sensei gets parried off for that alone. And now Cookie trying to stay up. And this is hard for them. He is going to fall in that situation. And YZJ still staying up. And this is exactly what they needed coming up on top here in these Rumble Yanks.
That was so sad. That Cookie could have actually potentially saved this. He was sitting on top of the pillar and then gets hit by a blue focus scale rush, catching him out of his charge for that merciless that he was about to line up. And then he gets knocked down to the ground, has to recharge, find a new opportunity. But by that point, his teammates were dead. And that one opportunity that he had to salvage the situation and to peel for that Takeda immediately goes out the window, and it all goes downhill from there. That one scale rush turned the fight completely. 100%. Actually insane. I mean, to say that it's luck is, I feel, a bit ignorant, because YZG is an absurdly good team. So it's very, very possible that wasn't like it was intended, and the result was foreseen. But oh my goodness, what a fight. And it's really unfortunate to see, because WZ actually on a pretty good roll right now in this game. They've gone up to 70 plus points, and if they were to be able to get like a crazy good game, get a 20 to 30 point game, they could make it into that bi-weekly final.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see another team contest. Right now, they're going to have to fight this Yang depletion tournament they have. 521 gets caught up though. Wolves with Mystic Might. They're not gonna have that Draco Storm, but they are gonna be having that Mystic Might there. We're gonna have to wait and see how they do here in the situation. It's just a little bit of pressure to ice off any sorts of damage that 521 could have potentially threw their way. They're on the Mystic Might. They're not playing that aggressive. They're gonna go ahead and play the safest route there from themselves. We do have OA. This could be a potential nice opener here, but third parties are starting to form on in. 521's Pampy inside the mix there from OA. These players do not want to get active here against each other. They do see OA starting to move on in, rotating. TE as well. TE 0 on the board. 521, 81.5 for 521, 83.2 for TE. I mean, it's very, very close here in the situation. I think we can say YZG is safe for sure with 102.1. GG 10 points still needed from TE to try to overcome 13 points to be accurate. I mean, it's just a very hard task. GG could still be in there. It's just that 12th place spot there from TE, 521, even Bauda, right? But all from those three teams, only 521 have eliminations right now. I mean, it's still 33 players still up, right? But the team that is overcoming everybody is OUG with 10 on the board. This could be a very, very hard task to take out OUG. I mean, we've seen how strong they've been throughout the whole night, and as well as DRG with 7, not letting go of that gas pedal. Only 3 kills difference there from DRG and OUG. And Wolves as well for this game alone have been having very successful time for game 6, and now second row and Yang starting to form right up pretty soon. 521 is not going to take it. TE not having a healer on this composition, a very interesting comp, possibly playing for that end game. They need to make it to the end circle due to not having any source of sustain in the composition. But Balda are going to be trying to make it to their second round this time around, see if they can try to get in this time around. But we're gonna have to wait and see. WZ starting to move on in. Cookie, first one up as well. TE rotating on out.
What are we looking at right now?
Close. Oh my God, they're just full WQ backwards.
What are we looking at? I was just like, wait, how many health bars is that on my screen right now? Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Everyone in the lobby is here. The map is just a mess of letters at the moment. WZ, they need this. The 1 minute and 21 seconds and counting for this Yang depletion. They need to find a way in. They need to find a way to cleanse this debuff. Wolves NHQ does go down in the mix. Actually, DRG now being focused down. This could be the opportunity that they've been waiting for. WZ trying to dive in onto DRG. WX98 caught in the corner. Tessa ultimate is going to come through onto Cookie, and it's actually going to make him forced to use this ultimate now. Immediately getting at D-Charmed. They do cleanse one player. They don't have money. Oh no, wait, they do. Okay, they didn't have money before, but now they picked up 18k from that body. So WZ, even if they don't manage to get all 3, they could potentially still salvage with a rebirth charm. But getting as many kills as possible in this situation would be the best possible scenario for them, as they do theoretically have a chance. But Luoye goes down in the mix. It's going to be very hard to survive this one, considering the number of people in the vicinity. The Wu Channel is going to come out for OA, taking them out of this situation, having lost their Tessa. I believe that was another Wu Chen port as well, just in front of Cookie just now. I don't see 521 anywhere. Can you?
I did see him dropped in, but they backed on up. They tried to go for that third party, and it looks like they retreated instantly, not having any value off of that alone. But 5 seconds and counting here for Cookie. It's going to fall pretty soon. Wolves could get the elimination here, but no, Alliances is going to be picking up elimination out to Ivan. So that's one member down there for 521. Cookie falls to OA. TE now still in the situation. Bauda does get caught up there off the Tessa enchantment. This could be bad for him. He goes up high, drops right down. No one sees him, I believe. The follow-up there from OA. TXJ gets the damage. Bauda picks up 2, 3, I believe. That's 4 for Bauda. 521 falls now into 14th place. Bauda now 82 points, 1.2 points away there from TE. TE still trying to stay up here in the situation. But Bauda, full WK in. They do have a good source of eliminations now. It looks like Alliance in the backside. They are going to be able to back on up. WBG has that ultimate up on there for Syra. Alliance might start moving on in. OUG as well. These players all scattered here in the situation. Bauda trying to full rotate in the opposite side. They did what they needed to do, and they're trying to stay alive. Wolves falls there from WBG. Zing on the Zai, and now Takeda Ultimate is online there for WZ. Looks like they are going to be able to stay up with one player up there for WZ. The Killing ult is up there. Sends the 1.0 CXC with a massive parry. Make sure he's back on up. But Leo now does fall. The F caught in there for the Killing as well. The F2 drop down. The 1-2 in the corner. Big damage. Overholds. Tries to go for the burn. Doesn't get it due to the Killing Ultimate. CXC now trying to respond with the damage onto the Syra. And now another team starts.
Wait, they got the Draco.
They do manage to get the Draco Storm here from YZG. And now all these players are like, Alicia, tons of pressure. Gets caught on double on the ground. Triple potentially could have done it. But the pistol shot there from TXJ does get the elimination onto Yerad. And YZG staying up in that situation. And these fights are not slowing down here, Duncan.
No, they are not. Now, Fat Milk is on the chopping block. TE desperately trying to hold him down, and they managed to find it, claiming an elimination, their first elimination of the game. Just giving them that little bit extra, it might make all the difference. Bauda closing in on that scoreline. They have all 3 members alive, I believe, as well. TE, all 3, but 5-1 is heart-wrenching. Only 1 member left alive, and it's Pampy on the Viper. Potentially, if he finds the resurrection on his Wu Chen, they may be able to make something happen, but they're going to need a lot more kills if they have any hope. They need to secure the spot. They need to get more than enough kills if they want to overtake TE, because TE, they're on that end game composition. They have that Tianhai, they have that Kailin. They could very easily take that end game heal off situation and win it all because of that. So it's very, very close, but YZG looks as though they're in the similar position and having Draco Storm as well. They're coming in immediately just in time to recontest, but not enough. They're not going to be able to do it. They've used that ultimate, pushed them out of the zone, and now OUG on the front foot looking to try and chase them down. Jin Yu looking to try and catch them on the cliffside, not able to hold on to them. But no worries, buddy. We've got the buff. We've got ults ready to go, and they're ready to re-engage yet again. TE, now the focus of YZG. Youth trying his best to disengage, and it looks as though nothing too big is going to come of this one. Youth is going to be able to heal up relatively soon, as they have found a little bit of ground to cover, a little bit of real estate to call home for the moment. But 5-1, where are they? WZ Yahoo goes down in the kill feed, and WZ along with WBG are both out completely. They both had 8 elims, and there was a glimmer of hope, but only for a moment, a fleeting glimmer of hope, and they get eliminated. Now it's down to 5-1, Bauda and TE.
Hear me out. Best situation. Best situation for Bauda or 521. TE gets eliminated early into this end game, potentially by OUG or YZG. They fall with 85.2. Bauda has everything they need right now, fully scaled. But 521, the Viper could have a big impact if he's able to stay up in those last and final moments with a drop down ult, potentially getting a massive stun there. I've seen crazy stuns from Viper in the end game circles with the whole lobby just freezes. So I mean, it's a very, very hard thing to do. But if T does fall, Bauda and 521 could have potentially that opening that they need in order to close out that distance from that 85.2. But this could be bad. Let's see. We see Bauda get engaged on OUG as well. First one's getting active this time around. We do see them full focusing Pampy, and Pampy's gonna be forced to pop this ultimate. He's gonna be able to get a stagger. Nope. F called him.
No.
He has the fan random step, and 521's dreams are done here for this bi-weekly too, and they're out of the run in 14th place. Now it's to come down to Bauda and TE. This is a very close between both of these teams, and to make it into that 12th place threshold. Bauda already invested in this ultimate. TE as well, and this is a big scrap off here. You got to be careful not to get grabbed here. If you're Bauda, Zem, he does manage to weave out of this situation. No grabs there from none of these monks. We do have 2 monks up for this side, top side of the cliff. We do have Alliance and TE monked up. A grab there onto NY7. No re-grab. He tries to look for it. Does not manage to get it there. But Bauda's now starting to move on in pretty closely, waiting for this monk ult to go down. Viper ultimate investing there on the bottom side of the terrain from NY7. Could potentially get a stun into one of these players, and it'll be onto OUG. Zen Yu. He ended up tons of damage inside the zone, and he is going to fall off of that. And Revenge with a mass elimination inside the zone. Semi ultimate now called in from SS from OUG. Now Psy ultimate called in here from Bauda ZZT onto Baby U. Baby U is going to be able to play inside his Temi ultimate. We do have him now still trying to look active, potentially look for a massive F2, holding this out. Peak from TE in the backside very low. He's going to use the Zai ultimate to cover for his teammates there on the bottom side of this terrain. Takeda ultimate called in as well there. We do see ZZT now playing the top side. Revenge starting to move on in as well. Big juggles there onto ZZT. Eats up a lot of damage inside the zone. Nearly gets eliminated. And you out there from a lot of elimination off the pulse sword. That's a lot of damage there. Gets elimination. Now you trying to respond here for TE. One player falls there for Bauda. You double hits, triple hits off that F alone. He is going to be enchanted off of this alone. Does not get any damage thrown his way. YZG takes out one of these players from TE, and now still with only 1 kill remaining. Not safe in the situation. Bauda getting very active. YZG takes out a player from Alliance. Now this could potentially go down to placement points for these teams. We do have Youth trying to stay up. Cannon shots flying on in from the top side of this map. Now YZG is going to fall. That's another kill there for Bauda. It could be close. Youth falls off of this. Now I believe Bauda off of this alone can stay on top. We do have YZG falling, and now Bauda still in the mix. Having this Cyro online, he's going to go ahead and pop it. TE as well. The Viper tether is going to stun the rest of the lobby. This is what I was saying. The whole freeze from all the lobby. We do have elimination going towards OUG's way. TE only is completely out. This is very close here from Bauda. 70 needs to go heavy, and that's all he needed right there alone. And that's going to potentially bring it up here for the top 12 threshold. Zem still trying to pick up another one, and there it is. And they managed to do it. And Bauda with 8 being able to secure that 12th place spot. But OUGs are going to be our winner here for our last game of the night. And what a beautiful sequence there for Bauda. Turning that game around, having a really bad start here for game 6. Still staying up in that end circle and securing that 12th place spot.
Oh my goodness. What a game. What a nail biter. Oh,